Holy shit.
Somebody had to do it.
There we go. Now I can grab the YouTube link. Just waiting for Bradley.
What? No, not right now. You had the opportunity earlier. Maybe before we go to bed.
I don't even want to know what you're talking about.
She wants to play.
Gross.
With her new mouse toy.
Gross. Oh no, fuck.
What was that gesture? One more time, Nick?
I got hiccups. I got fucking hiccups. There, I can pop out the chat. What is up, everybody?
Yo.
Yo. Ooh. And there. Now I can officially see both chats. How lovely. What is up, Cornish? Bravixie, Prince, Papa Shot. Nobody over in YouTube yet.
Ugh, 7.4 earthquake over by Taiwan.
Uh-oh. That's pretty big, isn't it?
Yeah, that's a big one.
Ooh.
It's not changed the geography of your coast big, but it's enough to knock over some furniture.
Well, once everybody's here. What?
I went to college with the grandson of Charles Richter.
I'm assuming that's the inventor of the Richter scale?
That would be correct.
Damn. What's up, Soup Nazi? Brad bringing up the rear. What are the odds? What do you think the chances are that Brad's secretly recording Dragon's Dogma footage and that's why he's late?
Nah. He recorded some Ronin footage. That's all he's going to do. Prince of the Universe says, so while I'm glad Nick is on his journey through the digital lands of the Rising Sun, I think we are being too light on him. Too light, I guess.
I think we are being too light on him.
I think
Nick should be required to watch at least 3 animes this year. There, I finished it for you. Since you were on the struggle bus.
Yeah, that was
this year?
Say again?
Who has to watch anime this year?
That would be me, because I am apparently on...
Okay, shut up. You should watch Dungeon Meshi.
Exactly, that's number 1.
Delicious in Dungeon. It's so good.
Okay. I can
What?
I can
Are you
maybe do that.
pitching anime to Nick?
Only because Prince said he thinks I should also be required to watch 3 anime. Does that mean I have to watch like 3 episodes of an anime or 3
No,
full
3
animes?
seasons.
No.
That's a good
Most
idea.
animes are only like 12 to 25 episodes long. Like, come on.
Yeah, that's not bad. They're
Show
like
a little-
25 minutes.
show a
an
little
episode.
backbone.
Hey, first of all, y'all chill. Last time we brought up Nick and anime, there was 1,000 nerds battling with each other over, how Nick was going to become their next Nick Chan.
Project?
I don't listen, man. This always happens with anime. I think it's a fine idea. I think we got to chill a little bit. People are going to go crazy. I don't know if it's fair once we've already started the bet. I think Nick would have to agree to it. So I feel like if he wants
He was in the
to
process
give,
of
like-
agreeing to it before you intervened.
Yeah, he was all for it.
I was like mid
He
agreement.
was like excited about it.
Yeah.
Brad's
And
like,
then here with
everybody slow
big
down.
rain cloud
we shouldn't be
energy.
pushy on like watch this one and you need to watch this
No,
halfway through
no.
One Piece or whatever.
Well, if he's
No,
gonna
no,
earn
no.
points, he's got to know what,
Halfway through
what
One
to
Piece.
watch.
Look, I will agree to this on with 2 conditions. One
Uh-huh.
being that my success or failure in this endeavor does not jeopardize my original bet, which was the 10 points, right?
Yeah,
So-
okay.
And 2, the animes that I agree to watch, they can be like 10 episode series and not like something that has like 50 episodes.
Okay, hang on.
There's
hang
not
on.
like 10 episode series are so few and far between.
Yeah, hang
Yeah.
on, Nick.
I mean,
Before
watch
you say that,
Edge Runners.
Nick, before you
You
say
watch Fooly Cooley.
that, Nick, before you could
That's
watch
6
Fooly Cooly.
episodes, Brad.
I don't want Nick to like Fooly Cooley though. But
Right? He doesn't deserve those eyebrows.
I feel
Yeah.
that. I feel that.
He
yeah,
doesn't deserve those eyebrows.
No, he doesn't.
Before you say that, Nick, at least 2 of the animes that I would recommend to you,
Mm-hmm.
are very much one thing for about 15 episodes, and then take like really existential dark turns, like after 15, 16.
I think I know what he's
episodes.
about to recommend.
What do you? No,
A certain mecha anime.
Okay, well, yeah, yeah, obviously. You have to watch Evangelion. Like, if you're doing I need to watch anime and I've never watched anime before, I think Evangelion.
Well, first of all, let me be clear.
required
Let me be
to-
clear. I have watched anime before. In fact, I've
No, no,
watched
okay, I know.
more
I'm
than the
sorry.
say
He gets down with
I
the
didn't mean.
Piccolo.
I didn't mean to. I didn't mean
He's
to.
gonna
trip-
say Sailor Moon.
I did watch Sailor Moon.
Listen. I didn't mean to impede
Inuyasha.
on your experiences. That's not what this is about. I'm just saying.
I've watched Bible Black like the rest of us, right? Sorry, I was building up a world teller there. Look. There are a few series that I would call glaring omissions that I have not seen that I know I probably should. Evangelion probably being one of them. But also I have never watched Cowboy Bebop.
What
Oh,
the
wow.
fuck?
That's actually kind of crazy.
Yeah, I
That's
mean,
actually
sorry, let me take
completely-
that back. I've watched probably a total
The John
of 5
Cho
episodes.
Cowboy Bebop.
Dude,
I've
I've been
watched,
running into a lot of people who haven't watched Cowboy Bebop lately.
That's so
and
weird.
It's starting to bug me.
I've watched
think-
about 5 episodes, but not consecutive
what?
episodes or
Wait,
whatever.
I got it,
Dude,
y'all. I got
you
it.
would
I got it.
dig Cowboy Bebop.
I know
Yeah, you
I
would.
would.
And of course you
I-
would. Of course you would. But look. Shogun's on Hulu. Rise of the Ronins on the
Shogun is so
PS5.
good.
How about slight pivot instead of Bebop? He watches Shampoo.
I've watched
Shampoo's
Shampoo.
pretty good.
I have watched Shampoo.
Oh. Okay.
Wait, the whole thing,
Never
really?
mind then.
I've watched how many seasons are in Shampoo? I feel like I've maybe.
Just the one.
Yeah.
Well, is it just one? Well, then I've seen the whole
Yeah.
thing. I've seen one entire.
Oh.
It was a very long time ago. but
That's such a good self-contained one too. But I guess you've seen it.
Mm.
Okay. We do need to. Here's the
Mm.
thing. Why anime? Why is it anime more than anything? You name it. Any nerd shit, comics.
Brett, pause for a
fucking-
second. I am also watching
He's
Shogun.
illiterate. He's not gonna.
That should
read.
count because that shows. That show's
No,
very.
no
very
one's
good.
like, hey, I want to read a book, and like book nerds are just going, oh my fucking
No, that's not.
god, you
That's
gotta
not.
check out the Bible.
That's not true because like I've had that fight with my roommate for years now, who like just refuses to read the Song of Ice and Fire books, but like just finished another watch through of Game of Thrones and is like, man, Game of Thrones is so cool. I love Game of Thrones, and I'm
Look.
like, you gotta finish reading the books. You've only read 2 of the fucking books, you motherfucker.
I get
No,
it, I
not
get
even
it.
that,
But I'm
even
saying I've
just
never
one
seen
and a
someone people come out of the woodwork.
But
even
I've had that
close to,
conversation
like,
with Nick too. We've both had that conversation with Nick,
I am-
specifically about Game of Thrones.
I am listening to a Song of Ice. I'm on book 3 now of Song of Ice and Fire.
Wait, you're working your way through a Song of Ice?
Really?
I'm audiobooks, specifically
feel like-
audiobooks.
I feel like if that were true, we would be hearing from you about it more. But I guess I don't know. I guess you're dealing with it in your own way. I don't know.
Sorry, Nick. Jon Snow dies.
I mean, look, I am. It's one of those things where it's like I listen.
And they
to,
ain't just gonna like flip a switch and bring him back the next episode. Like, it's
I
gonna
mean,
be dark.
true.
It's gonna be dark.
I mean, let's be real
Yeah,
here.
I don't
Nobody
even
here
like
has
talking about
nobody
this
here
anymore.
has finished a Song of Ice and Fire.
Because what?
Yeah, because the end doesn't exist.
This motherfucker.
So
He's
so
being a bitch. He's being a little semantical.
do you remember when like the gap between this, well, you know,
It's
obviously
true.
the time it's been since the last book, right? And then the time it's been since the book before that.
You-
Anyways,
you mean since the show came out?
since Dance with Dragons,
Right. It's been 2011. It's been 13 years since the last book, and then it was.
Is nobody at all concerned about the fact that there's supposed to be 2 more books? What are the chances you think
He's
he's
not
going to be
gonna
like?
write 2 more books.
because there's
He's
no
not.
there's no anything.
He's
Look,
gonna die.
Dude,
but
Well,
but see,
so
that
sick of
started
hearing
as a
people.
joke. It started at he's gonna die as a joke, and then it got
A
a little
decade ago.
awkward, and then it was a meme, right? We've all seen the meme, Silk Song. It's never gonna come out, but like we are so far beyond like, you know, meme territory, jokey territory. It's actually just kind of sad now.
I mean, like
I guess.
I'm
don't
excited
know.
that he's writing. I'm excited for the next book, but I'm like, we're still not talking about the ending here. Like, if we were all just patiently waiting for him to write the ending, it would
You
be
know what's
different. But
fucked up?
this is supposed to be like the precursor to the ending, right? There's 2 more books, and it's like,
Well, you know what's fucked up though is that like I follow a lot of Song of Ice and Fire lore channels, right?
That is fucked up.
These people have figured it out. Like everyone knows what the next 2 books are going to be about, and like they know how the show is going to differ from the books. They know what parts are going to be the same, and like why. Like they're even like looking at the last season of the show and finding like plot points or like incongruencies that are like, I bet that's in there because of this thing that they got from George, which is actually connected to this plot line that they didn't do at all in the show. So that's why it doesn't make sense in the show, but in the books, it's going to be that. Like, I feel like I know what's going to happen in the next book.
are you saying
and
we
it's
should be willing to
You
awesome.
said
settle?
you're in these discords. These are.
Are you saying we should
Song
be
of Ice and
willing
Fire
to
Discord?
settle for like Reddit
No,
threads
these
if
are
we
like,
don't get the actual
Is
end?
it- Well, I guess what I'm saying is that like we know that George works with a couple people as like his lore people, quote unquote, as like his story editors. We know that he has like people who work with him. To say that he's gonna die before the 7th book comes out, I mean, yeah, sure, I don't know, maybe, but like I still
I'm
think
not
we'll get
worried about
7
him
books
dying.
eventually.
here's
I'm
here-
worried
yeah,
about him.
Wait, here's the question.
I think we'll still get those 7 books eventually.
Honest
Tell you
question,
what,
and
I
this
think they're
maybe I
just
just
gonna
don't
be
know how this
bad.
works.
I
Maybe I just don't know how this
I don't
works,
think it's
but-
gonna be like a Frank Herbert and then like his son situation, but it may be.
Or
I
like
don't know.
a Francis Ford
listen.
Coppola situation.
Listen, honest
Whoa,
question.
what does
I don't
that
know.
mean?
I don't know if this is even a realistic thought at all, but like considering how long it's been, what are the odds that he's actually secretly been writing both books and he's going to release them at once?
I don't know.
Listen,
No,
He's-
is that not
The thing-
low?
No, does that even is that a thing?
I don't
Has that
know.
been done before?
I mean, but
No,
like 13 years,
I've,
it feels like that's the only explanation.
Well, I've read. I watched one video where they were like analyzing based on all the test chapters that he's released for Winds of Winter versus what he said he needs to accomplish in Winds of Winter, talking about the Myronese knot stuff, like how big Winds of Winter will probably be, and it is already too big. Like it's already too big, which
So here's the thing.
is like
Before the
Really
show
complicated.
finished its last 2 seasons, books were amazing, story was fantastic. If he releases them and they're bad, he's fucked. If he never releases them, man, it sucks he died before he can release his books.
It's
but
a
they
Silk
sure were
Song
great.
situation, right? Silk Song. There's no way Silk Song
Do you
can
think
live
he's
up to
dragging
hype,
his
so-
feet because he's worried he can't live up to the hype?
I think he's
I don't
worried
think
that he's
so.
bad at writing.
I did see
I
that
think
that
so.
interview where it's like where he's interviewing or or interviewing each other. It's like him and Stephen King,
Yeah.
and he's like,
Look,
Stephen King,
Nick,
how the
look
fuck
at
do
it-
you write so many books? And I'm like,
It's like modern Square Enix. He's like modern Square Enix, right?
I
Like
know.
when A Song of Ice and Fire came out. Like no, listen to me for a second. Like the three, like look, A Game of Thrones, Clash of Kings, Storm of Swords, like those, like the three, arguably some of the three greatest like works of fantasy fiction up there, right?
Oh, if
And
this
those
is gonna turn into
overall-
Peace for Crows slander, I won't.
Those were all no, but listen, those were all released 2 years apart.
that's
Come on.
insane. That's
Come on.
insane. You know what?
It's scary, right?
I
Just
think
like
I've told
Final
this-
Fantasy 7 and 8 and 9 and 10 all
Listen.
came out with like a year and a half of each other, and now we wait.
But it's not like he
6-8
hasn't
years
released
just to
shit
get-
since. Like we've
No, but
we've
come
read
on,
stuff that
dude.
he's written since.
Yeah.
Even
Yeah,
when it's
Octopath
stuff like
Traveler
Fire
was
and Blood.
okay, I
Like,
get it.
Fire and Blood was good. Like I don't know, whatever. Yeah,
Listen,
you're a
listen.
weirdo.
It was
I
it was
think
a solid Dio-filled Chronicles.
I do
Fuck
feel
up.
like I've told the story before, but like when I listened to the first book in its entirety, and I was like, oh my god! Not only is this book excellent, like the person doing the reading, like the
Roy
narration.
Dotrice?
Yes, I was like, oh my god, he's an
Oh, yeah, I think
incredible.
he's dead.
He's
incredible.
already dead. So
And
don't
then I
be
was like, if George R. R. Martin doesn't hurry up, we're not even gonna be able to finish the audiobooks with the same author. And then I looked it up that moment. I was like, holy fuck, he's already gone.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was like a shock to the system. I was like, we already know the audiobooks for books 6 and 7 they're gonna have to be different. And that's already painful.
Look,
Those audios
we're joined
so
this evening
good.
by the Unabomber.
With his third eye.
That's what you got out of that? The
So-
Unabomber?
So I was listening to this thing, and it was like a video, right, online on this website, YouTube. And I was like, this music sounds really familiar. And the video was about Godzilla, and it was the main Godzilla theme. And I was like, man, where do I know this from besides Godzilla? And I was like, oh shit, this is that fucking Simon Says song.
Simon Says.
But yeah, exactly. By Pharaoh Monk. And I realized, I'm like, where the fuck did that go? And it turns out it disappeared from the internet and the world because they sampled the Godzilla theme and didn't credit them or get permission.
Oh shit.
And so it got
Oh.
completely ripped from the world. But it is in the fucking scene from Charlie's Angels where Sam Rockwell is revealed to be bad. It's that song is playing, and for some reason it's like stuck in my head.
Wait, the
but
one that came
spoiler.
out like a couple of years ago?
No, the old one. I think it was the second one, Full Throttle.
I like how it's like the old one, but like we're not even talking
Yeah.
about like the really old.
That's true,
We're talking
that's
about
true.
like the Cameron Diaz ones. You know, the Lucy
But
Liu
see,
Cameron Diaz.
like even Wing It in chat saying that scene's really good. But yeah, it has that fucking music playing. And I think when I was younger, watching that scene, I didn't realize that was a sample of the Godzilla theme. I was just like, damn, this beat slaps.
Y'all remember
and then
the,
that slaps.
Oh,
Y'all remember
yeah.
the Lord of the Rings, the Two Towers trailer that had that Requiem for a Dream theme remix or whatever?
No,
What
the
dude,
fuck?
that shit.
That's the best fucking trailer, dude. The Two Towers trailer. I come back to you now at the turn of the tide.
At the turn of the
Oh.
time.
Oh shit, dude! And then the music kicks in, and it's this is the Requiem for a Dream, like the main score, like this is the theme for that movie. But it's
Gonzo says Charlie's Angels where the kids are playing Final Fantasy VIII but 2-player and that.
Oh my
Is there-
god, you're
is-
right!
But
Oh
can
my
you play it?
God.
Is there like a
Find me
two-player
that
mode?
clip.
Some of those old Final Fantasy.
Find
No!
me that clip.
No, there's not. It's just another instance of like people throwing random games into scenes in popular television or movies and pretending like making up sound effects for them and pretending like they're 2-player when they're not. It's
What business does an elf, a man, and a dwarf have in the riddle?
Dude.
Speak
it
quickly.
is Requiem for a Dream. What the fuck?
I know.
Oh,
It's like,
fuck,
fuck
okay.
it.
Is that the one you link, Crispy?
They made this
Oh,
trailer
Ruby
so good.
sacrificed.
I'm gonna have to watch
Halfway-
the
But
halfway
it's
through
trailer.
so
the trailer.
different from the rest of the soundtrack, but it's sick. All will be lost. Oh my god.
I'm watching the trailer now.
I could quote this entire trailer. I watched this so many times.
Dude, this is so
Every day.
epic. This is insane. Oh, they show Legolas doing the shield surf.
Yeah.
That's how you get them in the seats. That's how you get butts in seats.
Where is this music you're talking about? I don't hear it.
Just wait.
It's at the
You
end of
gotta
the
unmute
trailer.
the video,
It's
Nick.
like the second half of the trailer. When Theoden shows up.
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
This is a spoilery trailer.
Oh yeah! And then at the end of the trailer is Aragorn
Did you
pushing
just say
open the doors.
this trailer for the Lord of the Rings is spoilery?
That's a yes, Brad. That's a
Shut
joke.
the fuck up. I watched Late Night with the Devil.
This does seem like a fucking like fan made trailer.
It's wild.
Are we sure this is real?
Yeah, no, this is the official. Man, this is so many times. But the music choice does make it seem like a fan made trailer.
Yeah, right.
Still haven't gotten to the music.
Like an
Oh, wait, there it is.
angry-
There it is.
That's pretty good. Well, I'm trying to find that Final Fantasy VIII scene.
There's so many cuts in this trailer. My God.
This is
Right?
an insanely cut up trailer.
I keep finding YouTube shorts, but I'm trying to find the actual.
God, this is giving away the whole movie.
There's swords in this movie?
All right,
So,
so,
I mean,
yeah,
like, it's
I found the
practically
scene.
in
I only found
order,
it on
too.
I don't
YouTube
know,
Shorts,
man.
yeah.
They don't. Oh no, that's not true. They show home scene. I was
Oh, Mike is here. Mike, have you been playing DD2?
Of course he
Surely.
has.
Oh. With no HUD?
They show him faceplant into the river with the dead people.
Mm-hmm.
Doing a sound test because we got
The
something.
river with the dead people.
Testing.
It was actually a marsh. with dead
Sorry, the
people.
marsh.
The dead marshes.
The dead marshes. There we go.
You dumb fucker.
Yeah, that was a pretty good trailer. That was a pretty good trailer. You know what I'm saying?
Be good, be good.
Pretty good. Pretty good.
All right,
Got
well, thanks
nothing- it's
everybody. Have a good night. Thanks for showing up.
It's
Hopefully
got
everyone's a
nothing
good
on the
one.
Batman trailer with Nirvana though.
Ooh.
That was a great trailer. Oh, I should
Different
probably do a
time.
sound test.
Where did Crispy go?
Hold
Bye.
on. All right, I'm ready. So, Brad, I'm guessing you didn't secretly record any new Dragon's Dogma 2 footage.
No, I haven't touched Dragon's Dogma since we last talked about it.
Well, we're gonna use the same shitty footage from last week then.
Of what?
Dragon's Dogma,
Oh yeah, that was bad.
where I
footage.
still hadn't made it to the capital.
Oh. That was 2
so
weeks ago, right?
So I've been, and maybe someone in chat is smart. I know no one in the Discord is. In regards to, I've been having trouble lately. So I got Dragon's Dogma on PC, and I've been wanting to play it on my television, so I can sit on my chair and play Dragon's Dogma instead of doing it at my computer. But the problem is, every time I hook up my TV to my computer via my HDMI cable, it takes like 3 minutes for my computer to stop freaking out. Like it just kind of
That's
goes through like, you know, like just like these weird kind of like transitions of and 3 minutes honestly might be like understatement.
Weird.
Maybe
I don't have Windows 11.
the
I have Windows
resolution
10.
thing? It's got to be a HDMI
And so
resolution thing.
yeah,
right?
I was curious about the resolution. I mean, it's native at least said it. It's a 4K TV, but I mean, I have it's not an HDMI splitter. It's just coming out of my capture card, my graphics card.
And your PC's running it. I mean, is in 4K or no? Or your
I mean, it's not like natively in 4K. I mean, it's in whatever my monitor is set to. What do you mean?
well, I don't know. I don't know if you had a 4K monitor or no.
No, by default, I usually run on a 2K monitor.
I wish I had something. To
So your
contribute here, but I
Windows is
don't.
not. Are you outputting? So you're outputting. It's coming from your graphics card. So you're just treating your TV as like a third monitor or whatever.
Mhm.
It's gotta be.
What kind of HDMI cord is it? I have no idea. And that could be it, Papa Shot. It definitely is an older HDMI cable.
Oh.
And maybe I've not really used it since I upgraded my graphics card. I honestly can't remember.
What does that
I
mean? They
thought
want
I had
2.1? I
before.
don't think that's
What is your new
necessarily
graphics card?
True.
It's a 3080.
3080.
No.
So it's
Well,
still
So it's not
HDMI
that new.
2.0. Okay. I would say try switching out the cable, but also maybe
The problem
unplug
is
one of your
the-
monitors. Like maybe
So I
if
did
it still
do
does that
Chrysanthus.
handshake.
I did do that.
Okay.
I tried unplugging one of mine. The thing is, I don't have a longer HDMI, and this one's like a 10 foot.
Okay.
I can't go any shorter than that where my TV is. So I don't know. Maybe I need to just buy a newer one to see if that fixes it.
You gotta
so
get
one
one of
Mr.
them
Boy's
monster
question: how does it
cables,
run?
you know?
It runs fine.
No,
Right.
Gotta
But
get a gold-plated monster cable for $60.
We've all been
Or-
there, haven't we?
Or be a
Are y'all ready
sensible
to start?
person, just buy a monoprice cable.
Daddy's gotta get that gold-plated. Good stuff.
Totes.
Y'all ready?
Yeah,
Yeah.
let me.
Real quick, before we officially start recording, just for everybody who's listening or watching us live, if you happen to use Google Podcasts to subscribe to your shows, to your podcast, like on your phone or whatever, today is officially the last day to export your subscription because Google Podcasts will be no more tomorrow.
Yep.
So if you
What does that
haven't,
mean export a subscription? What does that mean?
you can export your list of subscriptions, and if you want to import it into a different service and not lose all of your information.
Mm.
And if you don't do that or whatever, please subscribe to us wherever the hell you end up. Just letting you know. And also, this is for you guys. Next week, I am probably not going to be on this show. I have family in town, and they're going to be here through Wednesday. So unless y'all want to do like a late week recording, like back to Thursday or something, I am probably out.
I could probably do like a trailer talk stream. It's been ages.
Yeah,
wanna do
it's
that.
whatever. Just letting you know. I mean, the good thing is all five of us are here tonight. For a second, I thought it was going to be a 3-person show tonight. Now it's 5. Look at that.
And the latest YouTuber bait just came out yesterday for free, so we can watch. We can do that.
What's the latest?
The
What's
fuck
the
does
latest
that mean?
YouTuber bait?
Oh,
It's a game called Content
warning?
Warning. Yes,
Oh.
it's Lethal Company, but you're a YouTuber.
Oh, that sounds awful.
I think I did hear something about that.
You're trying to like film something scary and go viral or something?
Well, I hate to break
Yes.
it to you, but if you've heard of it, then it's probably already successful.
Yeah.
I have heard that there's a game called Content Warning, and it has something to do with the camera, and that is literally the extent of what I'm aware of about it.
Boom. All right. Unless you have any objections, I hit record, so I am.
Well,
ready.
I'm not recording today.
I'm also recording.
It's the
What?
Sabbath.
What?
What?
I am recording.
Who? What?
No, Noel. Are you doing 1 or 2 segments tonight? Do you know? Or are you?
Sure.
You're killing me, Smalls. All right, we'll figure it out. Everybody recording?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Sure, why not?
All right, roll call starts now. Brad,
Hello.
Nolan,
Hello.
Nolan,
She sells seashells by the seashore. This is Nolan.
Crispy,
Hello.
All right, and Chris Davis.
Hi, this is Chris talking to the mic.
Cool. There we go. All right. What episode is this? 789. Okay.
Yep. I will allow you to make the joke once.
Is this the?
Hmm?
I really don't know what joke you're referring to, but that's okay. Anyways,
69.
I think kindergarten joke.
I got nothing. Anyways,
Boys have a penis and girls have a vagina.
everybody,
That's true.
shut up. Hey guys, welcome to 4Player Podcast. This is episode 789. It is April 2nd, 2024. I'm your host, Nick Henderson, joined by Brad Simons,
What's up?
Nolan Hedstrom,
Hey, how's it going, everybody?
Christopher Guthridge,
Hello.
and Christopher Davis.
I heard from a reliable source that 7 actually ate 9.
Oh God, that's okay.
You
That
had
was
your
a
chance. It
poor
was there.
delivery of a
I
bad
took it.
joke.
That was poor delivery of a bad joke. I agree. I agree with that sentiment. That's very true. Anyways, moving right along. Before we get into the thick of video game discussion tonight, I want to very quickly, because I should have done this at the top of the show last week when it was actually it was timely, and now it's like down to the wire. I'm doing it this week, but whatever. If you use Google Podcasts to subscribe to our show, if you like listen to our show on the go using your phone, like if that's the app that you use, by the time you're listening to this, it's probably gone. So I don't even know why I'm saying this now. What the fuck? April 2nd is the last day Google Podcast is going to exist. So if you're watching us live, or if by some miracle you happen to get this before that
April 2nd.
transpires,
This
April
really
2nd.
doesn't need to be on this podcast.
I know. The thought is occurring to me
week late.
literally in the moment, and I can't just stop. I gotta finish the thought. So the point is, if you use Google Podcasts, you can't anymore. So make sure you either export your subscriptions and take it to a different app, or just wherever you end up, make sure you subscribe to 4Player Podcast there. We would hate to lose your listenership just because Google decided
But also,
to
if
be a
you
little
didn't do that,
bitch.
you literally can't now. So get fucked.
I mean,
Yeah,
we
we're
don't
talking
actually know that,
nobody.
like... So I opened the app a few minutes ago on my phone, and it says Google Podcast is going by, and it gave me the export option. Like, that doesn't mean that, like, tomorrow there won't be that option still.
I mean, that could be true. That could be true, but I don't know what they mean by it exactly. So there is a chance that tomorrow when you open that app, it'll be like, psych, this doesn't exist anymore. I don't fucking know. But just in case, just keep that in mind. This is maybe a message that's more relevant to the people who are watching us live as we record this on twitch.tv/4playerpodcast or our YouTube channel, because we now stream these shows simultaneously on both Twitch and YouTube. So
What's our
keep
YouTube
that in
channel?
mind. YouTube.com/4player. God damn it. Nolan.
PewDiePie
knew that.
/PewDiePie.
I'm so not used to saying that. Hold on. What is it? Shit.
We've only had this
Oh,
YouTube
fuck.
channel longer than I've been in this
4Player
website.
Network.
Thank
Is it
you.
the number 4 or
The number
spelled
4.
out?
Number
all-
4.
I wish I could say it's always the number 4, but you know that story. We can't because we were dumb or because we couldn't back in the day. We're stuck with whatever. The point is, go to 4playernetwork.com with the number 4. You can find all these links to Discord, to YouTube, to Twitch. It's all there right at the top of the front page. So go check that out. But anyways, we're here to talk about video games. Tonight we're going to revisit Dragon's Dogma 2 because we talked about it last week, and Crispy's here and he's been playing a ton of that as well. And we're going to talk Rise of the Ronin because Brad's been playing that. I don't know if anybody else here played the demo for Stellar Blade, but I brought footage of that. That's going to be
I
fun.
didn't get around to that.
You didn't play it? Nobody else played it? God damn.
I saw some pictures.
Nick would play
You're-
the
I did
Nick
watch
ass
some
video game.
pornography, though.
You're relying on me to sell. I don't know. It's my job to sell people on Stellar Blade. It's just.
Yeah, I don't think that's.
You're right.
Mm,
Maybe
job
I shouldn't have framed it that way, but I
You mean
don't
it's
know.
your job to latch on to this one in the culture war that is Gamergate 2.0? You know, this
Hell
is your
no.
mascot.
Oh,
This
is
is your
that what-
mascot.
No, fuck. First of all, let's not
Like an
start.
ascot.
Let's not suggest that because that's definitely not accurate. But anyways,
Well, it is happening.
right. But it's not it's not. You're saying my.
If it wasn't for
mascot, like,
Sweet Baby Ink, all our games would be this jiggly.
Fucking A. You know what? Just this is maybe kind of relevant because I kind of don't have any idea what you're talking about. I
That's
have
weird.
taken steps. I am no longer on Twitter on my phone anyways. I have removed that app from my phone. So I have been the amount of doom scrolling that I have done over the past few days has been reduced by like 95%.
I feel like you still tweet more than anyone like
Yeah.
in this.
No, now it's going to
Well,
be
I
in
don't
short
tweet,
bursts
so-
because I don't have it on my phone, so I can only check it when I get home. So I go
Do
the
you
entire
tweet the
day without using.
podcast at least?
I can't really do that anymore.
Oh shit! Maybe I'll do a tweet real quick.
But to be fair, I stopped doing that a lot anyways because Twitter is just a garbage site now. And
What? No, you said that, but then I look on there and you're like posting porny artwork like every day, and I'm like, wait a minute.
no, listen, I use Twitter in the evening. Like I use it on the desktop at night
app
when
of the
I
night.
light some candles. I light some candles and dim the lights at night, and that's when I use Twitter. But during the day, I have removed the temptation to doom scroll. So you know what? I feel great. I feel great
That is
about this
certainly
decision.
Healthy.
It is healthy, but man, you don't realize how kind of addicted you are to like doom scrolling until you realize you can't do it anymore. It's just like your hand has the natural, like whenever you have nothing going on, it's just like, well, reach for my phone. Wait, I can't do that anymore.
Wait, no wonder you
man.
were doom scrolling. You're following 2,300 people.
Yeah. I follow a lot of people. It's Twitter, man. But also, there's a lot of problems with Twitter. I fucking hate Twitter, but I also keep in touch with a lot of people via DMs and whatnot. So like, I don't really want to just get rid of it altogether. But that's neither here nor there. The point is, getting off of Twitter like for 90% of my day has been kind of wonderful for like my mental health. So, highly recommend trying that. But yeah, the point is, I don't really tweet the show very much on Twitter, but that's also because the algorithm kind of fucking sucks, and I'm pretty sure nobody sees like half of those tweets anyways. So, anyways, moving right along. Is
Fantasy
there
Critic.
Fantasy?
Yes, there's updates, big things happening, Nick.
Yeah,
Big
yeah.
things happening. I lost another game.
All the big things.
This was a guaranteed 90 plus.
What, you lost
Earthblade
another what?
I lost another game. Earthblade got officially delayed.
Oh yeah. Earthblade got delayed.
That was one of my easy dubs, man. Easy dubs. I mean, nothing like Celeste is one of the most beloved indie games of all time, though. There was no world where this game comes out and wasn't immune to the indie tax, and I'm sad. Also, I picked up Braid Anniversary Edition.
Yeah, I
didn't even see the nomination until people were talking about it in our Fantasy Critic channel. Let me tell you, that fucking Fantasy Critic channel, I hate it because now that there's all these other leagues, these other fuckers are talking about games that I don't want people to talk about, and I'm like, stop talking about it. Like even Balatro was coming up before that came up, and I'm like, shut the fuck up.
I still think the
Wait.
Braid thing is bullshit, to be honest.
Yeah, how does that
The
not
Braid
qualify
thing
as like a
was-
remaster?
We cannot waste time.
I know. I don't want to waste time
things that are long decided.
Because you would lose the argument. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's
Shut the fuck up. It doesn't matter. Your argument. Look, if you wanted, you should have made a better argument at the beginning of the year when we all fucking voted on it. We'll have it again next year.
no.
Prepare better.
At this point, because of the number of conversations we've had to have about, which I'm gonna be honest, most of these conversations center around things that Brad has drafted or picked up or whatever of the past year and a half.
If you look at the fucking history, I did not even introduce
know.
Braid.
I know,
did.
I know, but
There's no but here.
the but is you swooped in and picked it up.
Yeah, I fucking did because I'm not. That's the thing. That's what makes it an even playing field. All of these games are available for everyone. I don't have to introduce it. Everything was a draft and everything is a bid. It's an auction, which means, yeah, some games are going to be easier dubs than others. Just like your Persona, what shit did you bid? Final Fantasy.
You said it here first. We can't have this argument on the show, so we're not going to. We disagree. That's okay. Whatever. Let's move right along. Brad picked up Braid Anniversary Edition. Earthblade got delayed.
Not all games are created equal.
Well, of course not. Of course not. But I at this point I feel kind of inclined to like suggest that maybe next year anything with the word remake, remaster, anniversary, something edition is I feel like
Well,
we should
we'll
just
have the
exclude it all.
conversation when we get there.
But
I think
anyways,
it would. I think it would have
that's-
to be into being a scenario to where we all have to agree to accept it.
Well, of course. But anyways, fucking anything else Fantasy Critic related? I think that's kind of it, right?
I mean, in our official league, kind of, yeah.
Yeah. Well, last week I will encourage people if you missed last week's show, go check it out. We did our first like community league check-in, and we ran through all the existing community leagues and kind of looked at who's like the at the top of the list and the bottom of the list of each league, which is kind of fun. We're going to try and do that every 3 months or so. So we'll check back in with them at the end of June, see how they're doing. But you can also follow along with all of those leagues. The links are in the welcome channel and Discord, so check those out. Also in the show notes. I put them in the show notes every single week.
Also, Chris Davis, you motherfucker, you're the only one who had picked up and scored a partial remake with Brothers: A Tale of Two Sons. So you of all people should not be talking about partial
No,
remakes
but listen,
being cool or not.
listen, bitch. That I don't understand this partial remake versus remake shit because
Okay,
that Brothers
sorry.
remake looks like way more of a remake than
Yeah.
the Braid remake. You know what I mean? Like
This
it's-
is where we get into like conversations about what's more valuable in terms of like new content and how
Yes.
good is the new art versus I think that fucking Brothers remake kind of looks like shit. So what do you want from me? The
but
point
it
is,
actually,
it came out, he got points of all people.
I
That
know.
was the only one game that was on all of Fantasy Critic as a partial remake when we made the rule.
I mean, honestly, I think the whole partial remake versus remake discussion is just kind of
One we
it's
don't need to have
it's-
now. Yeah.
But then stop bringing it back up. I was almost out of this conversation, and you reined us right back in. Anyways, where do we go? Where do we want to go first tonight?
Oh, come on, dude. Who here's been watching Shogun? I have.
I have, dude. Fucking Shogun is so good.
It's good.
I'm not fully caught up. I'm like on episode 5, I think.
No, I'm
so I
not
saw
caught
it.
up. I didn't even know it was not all done. I just started watching it.
Yeah.
I was kind of waiting to play Rise of the Ronin and watch Shogun at the same
That's a
time
good.
because
I would imagine that's a good combo.
it's a good combo. What I didn't expect, Nicholas, is
Yeah.
for me to be as fucking hooked on Rise of the Ronin as I am. It is kind of nutty, actually.
This seems
Oh,
like
shit.
a real turn
Well, it's
from
not a
your pre-release
turn.
impressions.
My pre-release impression.
Well, I think everybody
no
was kind
demo.
of. Brad, you were kind of
The mood
nervous
on
about
that
Yeah, we
game
were.
was very down.
Oh, well, when I was saying like this game is going to score like a 75 or whatever, that was me reading the tea leaves and with critics. It was not me thinking that this is a game that's going to deserve a 75. It's just we were living in a world where Dragon's Dogma scores an 89, which means we're living in a world where a bog standard open world checklist Ubisoft knockoff is not going to score even close to that. It's going to score more like a 75. And you know what? I'm not like too mad at the critics. Here's the thing about Rise of the Ronin. Let me pull up some footage here, or the footage. Sorry. This is a departure for Team Ninja. Team Ninja, who has been making Souls likes ever since Neo. I'd say like Neo sort of kicked off like the modern era of
Team Ninja.
Team Ninja, and they've done 2 Neo games. They did Strangers of Paradise. They did Wolong Fallen Dynasty.
Oh, I forgot
And-
about Strangers of Paradise. Sorry.
Are Souls likes, like from the level design to like the combat system and whatnot. And Rise of the Ronin is not a Souls like at all. This is their take on like an Ubisoft open world action adventure game, whatever, right? An Ubisoft game. It's a fucking checklist game, and let me tell you, checklist. Stress the word checklist because it is one of those. It's like you open up your map. There's icons all over the map. Go to one of those icons and do like one of these activities that the icon suggests, yeah.
Do you remember a couple weeks ago when I just kind of jokingly was like, "Is this going to be the Days Gone for me of 2024?"
Days
I
Gone for
saw
you.
I
don't
saw
know.
no, just in terms of like, because it was like looking like it was gonna come out and get like 6s and 7s, but it was because it was
Yeah.
one of those kind of traditional checklisty open world games that I was like, if I let myself try this game, am I gonna fall in love with it and suddenly
Well,
be champion this game? I saw
this is
multiple
not
people
Nick and
post
Dave.
release. Multiple people post release started tweeting about this with the box art for Rise of the Ronin right next to the box art for Days Gone, and I was like, I think this might be
I mean,
accurate.
okay. Well, let me talk through it and you decide. First of all, I'll say like, this is not like. First of all, this score
Does it have a motorcycle?
at least, so fuck you. Second of all, no, but you have a horse that
What did you just say about Days Gone?
Not like a horse, not even like a motorcycle. This horse might as well be a fucking skateboard. Like they have never seen a horse in real life. They have no idea how to animate a horse, but that's okay because it doesn't work at all like a horse. It's extremely like controllable. Like it's not it's the opposite of the horse from Shadow of the Colossus, right? But that's okay because the whole like theme of this game is we're gonna make an open world, one of those the Ubisoft checklist games, a bloated one. But you know what? You're not going to feel the bloat. We're going to streamline this thing and make it as user friendly, pleasurable, quick, snappy, like get in there, get out, like nothing wastes your time in this game at all. This is the leanest fucking open world game I've seen in a very, very long time. But it does feel dated, kind of like how Final Fantasy Rebirth felt dated because it's like, okay, well, they clearly don't make these games very often, and maybe somebody on the team played, Assassin's Creed 3 like all those years ago, and it's like, I know how to do this. This feels dated, right? Like a modern open world, game is very, they're very Witcher 3-esque now, right? Where it's like they're like prestige games, they're fancy. Even like the Assassin's Creed ones that are really bloated and people get kind of sick of them and like this is never ending shit. Like this doesn't feel like that. It feels more like the games they were making 10 years ago.
This is one of those, they don't make games like this anymore.
Well,
games.
I mean that's fucking true, but like so does Rise of the Ronin like deserve to get a 76? Well, since everybody on the planet hates this type of game now, it makes sense. It's also, this is not like a very innovative game. It's not an ambitious game. There's nothing you're gonna do out in the world that's gonna like you've never seen before in terms of like game design.
You know what?
Like
that's something you can't say about Days Gone.
Shut the fuck up about Days Gone. Hang on.
I'm just saying.
It's very like as an open world game, it is very kind of bog standard, but like, and I can't stress this enough, like the fast travel's quick. The horse responds like super quickly. You can go from your horse to your hang glider back to your horse. You just whistle in the air and you'll just drop off your hang glider and land on your fucking horse and never like skip a beat. Like this
like real
game
life
is trying to be like as, and I don't know if it's trying to be that or if it just is that, but it's very
respectful
like,
of your time,
like,
maybe? I don't know.
Respectful of your time, but like not even, I don't even think it's like actively trying to be respectful. It's just, it's not filled with like bloated tedium. Like you get in, you get out, and it's not super deep, but it is like this game. It's fast. It's breezy. This game is incredibly addictive. I played over 30 hours of this game in a
Holy
week,
shit.
which is more than I played of Dragon's Dogma, which is also very addictive. And that's because you could just go. Done with this mission, upgraded this shit, go. It's like it's addictive. Like I think open world games used to be before they got really bloated, before you started slowly clawing through cracks and climbing up walls and having conversations with Atreus and I mean, I feel the tedium sometimes when I play these games. This one, there is no tedium, but
it's ugly.
It is, well, it is sort of ugly.
Actually,
right? Like
I do want to ask you that because
if you are like a graphics hoe bag, like you're probably going to be like, this seems so pretty and this is not, and like sure, that's fine. This is Team Ninja who puts out like a game every 18 months.
I
I
don't
get
think
it. Like it's this thing isn't $300,000. Like the assets are like repetitive too. It's not just like tech wise like pretty dated, but it's also they're stretching. It's like a Yakuza game, right? Like in
let's
terms
just
of
say
like
they
open
could have
world
released
production values, they're stretched pretty thin.
they could have released this
Um,
on last generation's hardware without any issues. I
Mm.
feel like that's kind
Issues?
of what
No,
people are
because
saying.
it would have run like shit. That's the thing. This is not like this didn't have like a year and a half of polish to make sure this thing runs like perfectly. You get into Yokohama and it's a little like dicey like frame rate wise. It might look dated to you, but this is still Team Ninja and like they've never done an open world game. But like let me tell you, they kind of like knocked it out of the park because they ended up making one that's just incredibly like addictive and just fun and so fun. This is still a combat game at its core. It has Ninja Gaiden. I mean, it has a Team Ninja like combat design, and I was worried about this thing. It was one of the things I was worried most about because I think Neo 2 especially are like incredibly deep like action RPGs. I think combat wise they're far deeper and more fun to play than like even like the best Souls games. I just love those games and they're far deeper as well. Like there's so many different weapons and like the amount of depth that they put in a single weapon in those games was incredible. Wolong really streamlined that game and tried to make their own take on like Sekiro kind of. It was and I was worried that they were going to keep going in that direction up until I started playing it, and I realized this is actually a much more fun, deeper combat experience than Wolong. I really like the combat.
Really?
It's not Neo, but like some of the stuff they're doing in combat is really cool, really smart. There's like a ton of different weapon styles, and like each like weapon each given weapon and a given weapon stance is not like the deepest thing in the world. You'll have your basic combos, you'll have your counter, and every weapon has kind of like a different style like counter move sort of. And then you have your martial arts, which are like up to 4 face buttons as you progress through the game that are tied to that weapon stance. But weapons will have multiple stances that, by the way, you can earn by tracking down certain like difficult like fights in the world and learn like a weapon style from them, which like the whole loop of like everything in the world feeds back into like the systems of like leveling up your character and your stances and getting new weapons, all part of this like really addictive hook, this really addictive loop. But
I will say that's something that
you unlock like the
late
katana has,
generation
like,
Assassin's Creed games have done. Like that is one thing that like this is maybe learning from a little bit. I mean, not exactly the same, but like everyone likes to shit on those like Origins, Odyssey, and Valhalla Assassin's Creed games, but that was a huge part of the loop. Is like how all the things that you can do out in the world feed back into growing your character,
which
and
is good
making combat
design. But
fun.
like imagine if you can get in and like get that new weapon stance, and it only wastes 5 minutes of your time instead of like a 45-minute like thing that drags on and on and on. And by the way, go enjoy the next one. Like it's back to the combat system. Like the katana has like 9 different stances. No other weapons like that, but like you learn these different stances and they're completely different move sets for each stance. So a single weapon has like has like multiple stances you can learn, and you swap them on the fly. Not only can you swap them on the fly, not only do you have moves that kind of link those together and get key back, and there's like key pulsing, a lot of that stuff from like Neo's back, but you have there's like a priority system, right? Like there's certain like weapon types that are like weak or have advantage to other weapon types based on like your stances. So sometimes you'll be like, it's very common, you'll be like fighting like 3 different dudes, but like he'll be using a weapon type that one of your stances might be like strong against, or while the person next to him has a stance using a weapon type that your current stance might be like weak to. So like you're instead of like focusing on like one single enemy, it's more like juggling like fighting 3 people at once or whatever, right? Which I feel like this is sort of the aim of this game versus like a lot of Souls likes where like if you're in a situation where you're fighting 3 things at once, you just need to get the fuck out of here. This is more about like those sorts of encounters, and like they do some really cool things to make that work. Like you have interactivity, with stuff in the environment. You can like pick up stuff and like throw them. Eventually you can upgrade your grappling hook to even throw people who are in like a weakened state at each other. You have you have like sidearms, like ranged weapons. In Neo, the ranged weapon is like the thing you rarely pull out to like help pick off an enemy from afar. But now they're like more integrated into combat, because this is like the Bakumatsu era, where like the West is like very much like up in Japan's business, and like, you know, like one of the weapons you have is like a bayonet, and you know, you're using like revolvers and shit too, and like the way they integrate that stuff in combat is like really cool and smart. Like I have a flamethrower that you'll see later in the footage, and it's like, I don't know, it's just a cool mix, kind of like Yakuza Ishin, I guess, was a similar era period, because it had some of that stuff too. And there's stealth, like there's stealth in the game. So just what do you expect in a bog standard open world? You expect like sort of taking out encampments, right? And like it's really fun in this game, right? Because unlike a Souls game where you're just, you know, it's like a handcrafted level, and I do miss that sort of level design, because I think Neo was like pretty good at that stuff. You know, they weren't From Software, but like that type of level design and encounter design, and like, you know, unlocking like shortcuts and stuff, that's just good. That's just peak fucking level design these days. This ain't that, but like taking out, you know, an encampment in like Far Cry can be really fun, right? And it's fun here because this is the first time where I think they're, in a long time, I guess, that they're actually like pulling off stealth. Like Neo, there's stealth options. Wolong has stealth options, you know, but it wasn't like here. Now it feels like a more well-designed like system of like sneaking around and like, you know, engaging, but then re-engaging stealth. You know, it's definitely they're good at that. They're good at like sort of that stealth approach, encampment approach, or just kind of go in guns a-blazing because the combat support it. Like this is like a kind of a dated Assassin's Creed game, but with really, really fun combat. Like the maybe when you're out in the open world, like it's not the prettiest game because the tech ain't there, but like they're really good at fucking combat animations and like death animations and like your like death blow moves. Like there are so many different animations for how you can like kill someone in this game. It's amazing. And they brought back like the Neo and Wolong, when you kill things in that game, like they're pinatas of loot and particle effects. They just sort of like burst into colors when you kill them. But in this game, it's more like an old Ninja Gaiden game where you're just slicing fucking limbs off and shit, and it looks and feels good, especially when there's so many damn weapons and so many different like death blows for each given weapon. It just feels fucking good to slice someone up. And they do that thing where even after you like fucking cut off like they're dead, basically, you just sliced off their head and their arm, you can kind of keep slashing them up a little bit. It just feels good. It feels good
monster.
to fucking cut
All
dudes
right,
up
Brad.
in this game.
Okay.
So like, well, no, I mean it fucking looks good and feels good, right? It's sort of that fucking samurai fantasy, you know, that one of the katana stances is the what is it called, the EI stance, where, you know, it's all about sheathing your sword and like pulling it out really quick, and you have a move where you like will sheath your sword and you're kind of charging it up, and you'll dash through an enemy, and you'll like you know, all the slices will happen like after the fact. You know what I'm
And then
talking about, like
and
that
then they'll
kind
like fall apart.
yeah. But if you actually do it when you get a
Classic.
death blow, they'll like behind you, it'll dice them up. It's fucking cool. What's it called? The EIO stance? Shut up, no.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
Y'all know what I'm talking about. So like, so what you have is like a game that is
What
not
the fuck? That is a flamethrower. Sorry.
gonna like win any. I mean, this is gonna be no media outlets game of the year. No self-respecting media outlet can award a game that's not doing anything like innovative. But like, what Team Ninja managed to put out is maybe a data looking game, maybe a data game like structurally, but it is got like peak fucking fun combat, and it's like snappy and responsive with no fat. And I guess I'll just end by saying like let me tell you, Team Ninja is a developer that I have disrespected for a long time in terms of their storytelling chops. Keep in mind, must I remind you that these are the people responsible for Metroid Other M and other tragedies. I've never cared about the story in like any old Team Ninja game, Neo. Like I've never cared
there
about
a
the
butt
story.
coming
They've never
here, or
made a
is this
good
gonna be
story. Period.
No, they went all out. It's actually good. This is sort of like historical fiction, right? This is a very grounded story. All of these characters are like actual like historical figures, and
I feel vindicated.
it's good. It is
I think-
good. Now I'll say this: you should play in Japanese because in English it's a lot of like bad, accents and stuff. It's not good. I don't like what they did. So if you sensitive
I think
to that,
Brad's having his Days Gone moment.
switch to Japanese. No, because this shit ain't gonna end up on my top 10 list of all time or anything. It's not that kind of game.
You don't know
It's
that.
not even a game that I think people should rush out and buy because there's so many like games that are gonna win the Game of the Year award, right? Like play your Dragon's Dogma 2 because you waited 12 years and it's doing crazy shit, right? Play your Rebirth because it's your dream remake, play your Balatros and your fucking there's so many banger games this year, your Yakuzas. But like when this shit goes on sale and you're done with some of those games, I recommend anybody to pick this up because like this shit is fun and it is addictive and the story is actually good. Like Team Ninja, I think it's probably because they're taking it seriously and it's Japanese history and they want this shit to like be like there's dev diaries of like they took this shit really seriously and it paid off. And again, it ain't Disco Elysium, but like there's a companion system and there's like faction system. You can be pro shogunate or anti shogunate, and like there's all these different characters that you can do side quests for that you bond with and you have and become your companions and you unlock stuff as your bonds level up. But like those characters are actually good. Or some of them are really good, but then there's characters on like the pro shogunate side that are like shitty like Westerners and that are siding with like the Japanese government, and you don't want to like in terms of like the main story, I would never side with them, but because there's so many characters that are tied to like the pro shogunate faction that are cool that I want to increase my bonds with, not only because like their characters are cool and their quests are cool, but and I'm getting stuff from leveling up their bonds. It's content that I don't want to miss because it's actually pretty good, but it is dicey because I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go
pro U.S. imperialism.
It's well, not in terms of the main story, just in terms of I want to do all these side quests because these characters are really cool. And but let me tell you, it's led to situations where like my homie, like we would die for each other in terms of the main story, will like show up at the end of like one of these side quests I'm doing for like these pro shogunate like assholes or like on what like Matthew Perry or whatever, and he's like, what the fuck are you doing? And all of a sudden like my homie will be like the boss of this stage, that because like I should not be like running quests for this dude that I'm basically like I'm trying to play both sides.
For the bad guys.
I'm trying to play both sides to see the most amount of content, but I'm running into these situations where like, dude, like at the end of a mission, I'm gonna go a boss fight with my homie, and they're like, dude, we need to go back to the base because we got to talk about this shit. That was fucked up. And it's like this is cool. Like there's a dialogue system. You unlock dialogue skills in a Team Ninja game. I'm putting points into skills to conversate with people, which let me tell you, I have never wanted to conversate with anybody in a Team Ninja game, but they pulled it off. Like this shit is surprisingly good.
Brad, for the sake of people in chat, I'd like to back up a second because some people heard you mention Matthew Perry.
Matthew Perry, yeah, historical figure. Open a book, guys. Come on.
Oh, okay. There we go. It's a historical figure.
Commodore Perry's name is Matthew. Is that true?
Yeah, Matthew Perry, voiced by Matthew Perry as well. Weirdly,
there we go.
I'm just kidding. Rest in peace.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Commodore Matthew Perry. Which is
Oh, he was a member of the Perry family.
I would have
this
to
game will go
That's
down.
What it says under lineage.
This game will go down real smooth. And let me tell you, they want everyone to play and enjoy this game. There are difficulty options. A Team Ninja, the Team Ninja put out a game like well, granted, it's not a Souls-like game anymore, but there's difficulty options again. And if you really want to just experience the story, which by the way, it's good enough for that now, you can just play on easy. I'm playing
Did
on
you
the
say
default difficulty.
difficulty options?
I could probably play this on Twilight and like be stuck at a boss like for ages. And let me tell you, I get into the dojo battles, and those can be extremely tough. But outside of dojo battles, I'm kind of breezing through this game. I'll die plenty. It's still one of those games where you fuck up enough parries and stuff, you're gonna get
Matthew
fucked
Perry?
up. Um, but they give you like way more healing items in those games. Like this is just a fun, breezy experience, which is still enough like combat friction and whatnot, but no open world like progression friction at all. This thing goes down smooth. I like it a lot.
I'm glad to hear it. I'm glad to hear it.
Now
because
it's I already tell you, it ain't gonna be my game of the year. Maybe
That's
it
fine.
deserves a 76 on Metacritic or
Again,
whatever the fuck.
you
But
know,
let me
I
tell
feel
you,
like
I
feel
popped
like you're
into
taking
forums,
pot shots
Reddit
at me.
threads. What? This ain't about you. Shut up. I popped into like Reddit threads and YouTube comments and like forum threads and stuff. And you look at like user reviews, like across the board, people seem to be having a great fucking time with this game. It's insane. Like the comment I see most often is like, I'm really surprised at this game's scores because I'm having so much fun with this game.
I think there just needs to be. I mean, it makes sense when you think about it, because critical scores are not necessarily there to. They're not entirely reflective of like how fun or enjoyable a game is, but like you said, like if it's a game that doesn't try anything particularly refreshing or new, and it feels dated in a lot of ways, like muted scores like that, I feel like they make sense.
Yeah.
Also, like a lot of people, myself included, jokingly kind of hounding on the way this game looks, and I think a lot of it comes down to the fact that just obviously, like I'm watching Brad run around this world and it's pure chaos. You know what I mean? Like there just isn't a lot of, like they obviously prioritized ease of movement over like how pretty animations can be, which we've had that conversation before, and that's fine. But like, and it may not look like Ghost of Tsushima because obviously budget's a lot smaller. It's not, Sony first party, that kind of thing. But like, I feel I'm watching this and I was like, I don't find this game to be quote unquote ugly. I just don't think it's necessarily going to be living up to that. If you're thinking Ghost of Tsushima, it ain't that. But that's fine.
Yeah, I mean,
every game's
you're not picking up this game to. I'm in a really awkward scenario too when I recorded this footage because I basically 100% of the first map. I'm 30 hours in and I just got to like the second map, and there's 3 maps in this game. And I'm at this part where like in the new map, I have to only do like story content. And I just kind of want to run around the world and glide around the world. But so I had to go back to the original map and where I kind of done everything. So I couldn't do any of like the cool like fugitive fights or whatever. But so it was a little awkward, but we got there. I don't know. I'm just having a good time. I'm not saying run out and buy it, but I think if you've ever enjoyed this kind of game, if you've ever enjoyed like that sort of good like Team Ninja Combat, like I think this is an easy pickup when you find it on sale or when you have some free time.
I will happily place this on the top of my waiting for a sale pile with Alone in the Dark after last week.
The drip is good in this game, man.
The drip
is good.
You know what else has good
drip? I hope it's better than what you're wearing.
Shut the fuck up, Crispy. Don't make me bring up your fucking Final Fantasy 14.
Dude, my Final Fantasy 14 character looks sick. Don't even try. Don't even try it. I have the high ground.
Keep thinking that.
Oh man. So speaking of games with good drip, why don't we revisit now that Crispy's here, and I know y'all have been playing more of it, except for Brad, because Brad's been, I guess, delving deep into Rise of the Ronin over the past week. Let's talk Dragon's Dogma 2. No, I get it. By the way, just real quick before we dive into DT, I figured I'd slip this in there. The only reason I haven't touched Dragon's Dogma 2 since last week is because I finished Persona 3 Reload. I am 4 points closer to being to having my not racist license per Brad's approval. I finished a fucking Persona game. Wow. Everybody,
almost
stop by.
Begrudgingly, it feels like.
No, hang on. That doesn't. Hang on. If you finish, you're not racist against Japanese people.
That's
That
true. You can be
excuse
racist
from
against
all
others.
races.
Yeah,
you're
there's
right.
a
You're right.
whole-
They're separate licenses. This is only for Japanese racism. No, I thought Persona 3 was pretty great. The ending I think made the journey totally worth it because it was starting to get a little like, oh my god, this is the you want to talk about a loop that's long in the tooth? That's a little bit long in the tooth, but hey, Persona 3 has got a pretty great ending. So good, in fact, I don't think I even see the necessity. Like, I don't feel like I need to go back to that new DLC they're going to release later this year. I feel like I'm pretty happy.
It was so good, I never want to play it again. Just
Exactly.
I mean, I'm
Exactly.
saying, like, I feel
Exactly.
like people who finish Persona games, they want to, like, they're all crying by the end. These are my best friends, and I never want to leave them. And Nick's like, oh, yeah, that was nice. Let's move on. Give me my points, Brad.
No, I mean,
I feel like if
kinda.
it was not for this opportunity to become not racist, you would not have finished this game.
Okay. You gave me.
Which is
You
good.
did give me.
Which is part of my plan, honestly, to get you to finish more Japanese games. So
Right, but
job.
I mean, you did definitely give me the push I need. I mean, because let's be honest, that loop, the Persona loop, right, the same loop that every Persona game has, is it's a lot. I mean, you're always going, you're kind of like looping between the same places. The number of times they had to be like, oh, I'm in the classroom now. Oh, I'm in the dorm now. Oh, I'm in the courtyard now. And then like the days just go, oh, I'm in my bedroom now. And then haven't answered my phones and deciding who I'm going to talk to, which is, that's it wears on you after a while.
You're
Got to
like
the
the
point.
dude from American History X. Remember when he got to prison and someone was like, "Hey, we'll give you points if you stop being racist," and then all of a sudden he was like not quite as racist.
Is that
Is
how
that a dated? Is that a dated?
No,
that movie's
I've
like
seen,
probably 25 years old.
I have seen that film.
Yeah, but then he gets shot at the end by
That's true.
a black
yeah,
kid. So like, what is racism, right?
Yeah, that
Oh my-
movie's. Yeah,
Well, this is going to dark places. Anyways, I
Movie
finished
doesn't
Persona
hold up.
3. Let's talk about Dragon's Dogma 2, shall we?
Sure.
Crispy,
Mm.
you've been playing, in your own words, you've been playing a
According
lot
to
of Dragon's Dogma 2.
PS5, in the last like 10 days, I've played 38 hours.
Nice. Nice.
Uh,
I don't know if you're watching the footage, Crispy, but it's the same footage I had from last week.
don't you
I don't-
fucking shame me? Don't you playtime shame me, Chris Davis? Don't you do that?
You should never let Chris Davis game time shame you on anything. I'm just gonna.
Yeah, just reverse
No,
it.
never let me do that
Just
because
reverse it.
I played it
What's
myself.
the game that he played 8 minutes of and talked about for 15 minutes?
45 minutes and talked about
That's
for
true.
15 minutes.
It was 12 minutes. Okay, do not change history here. We have the receipts.
Anyways, Dragon's
Anyway.
Dogma 2 is pretty cool, right?
It is pretty cool. It is pretty cool. It is so cool that it doesn't want you to know how cool it is for a while. Like it's very low key about how cool it is, and then it just kind of like keeps getting cooler and cooler, and you're like, oh shit, what? Why didn't you tell me? Like,
So I'm still very much in the
Uh,
in the zone of it hasn't quite reached it hasn't quite shown me how cool it actually is yet.
Oh.
I don't
Is this
remember
the game
who it
you
was.
have you also been actively playing this, Nick?
Well, I had told you I literally put down everything else and focused on Persona 3, and that took me
Well,
until Sunday, and I haven't had a chance to play anything else since. I played nothing yesterday, so
Nice. So I mean, it's not that like that like the last 38 hours have like convinced me this is a good game. I loved the first Dragon's Dogma. I was like all in on this game's bullshit from the get-go. Man, this is a cool game. Like, this is a really cool game.
I thought this was about to go a different direction. I thought you were about to surprise us.
The biggest thing about this game, I mean, I don't know. Like, I did not listen to what you guys talked about, so I don't know if I'm just going to be running over a lot of the same talking points that you guys
might be,
covered
but
last
that's
week.
No, that's okay. Perfect, actually.
Let me tell you,
The
how does it feel to
biggest-
play an open world game with shadows? Rise of the Ronin.
Does it have shadows?
Well,
Not only does this game have shadows, but they're scary and oppressive.
yeah.
Like the darkness is truly terrifying. I feel like the problem, not the problem, but like the thing that this game does better than the first game, just the map being bigger and having more like kind of biome variety is so cool, because that was always the thing that, like, after 30, 40, 50 hours of the first Dragon's Dogma, I felt like I'd kind of seen the whole map, and then I was just kind of running over locations that I'd already been, and the map size for the first one was such that, like, getting anywhere was like kind of a hassle, but it wasn't like, I don't know, it wasn't like enough of a consideration to make it like part, I don't know, to make it like a satisfying part of the gameplay loop. Like, it wasn't necessarily a game about traveling as
Right.
much as you would
This
have to
feels like it
prepare
is.
for travel.
Because
This
the
is a
world
game
size
about
couldn't-
traveling. Like,
Oh,
this is a
so-
game about
so Crispy,
traveling.
On that note, since you weren't here last week, and this is the same footage, I
Yeah.
recorded all of this footage, right? And everything from when I recorded this, I was about 10 hours into the game, which is kind of where I
Yeah.
still am. I hadn't even made
Yeah.
it to the
Oh,
capital
look at
yet.
that. Look at that tiny little
Yeah.
speck of map you've uncovered.
Hadn't even made it to the capital yet. I spent about an hour and a half to 2 hours in the character creator, and everything else has just been running around the world, kind of going on this journey organically, and like that has been great.
This
Even though
game
the
is so wild, man. Like so much of the DNA of like 1 minute I feel like I'm kind of playing a Souls game, the next minute I feel like I'm playing a Monster Hunter game. Like it and then there's like, yeah, like I said, the travel. Like, honestly, I don't remember whose review I was reading about it. I feel like it was Paul Tassi, because he was kind of like down on the game, but then like came back and was like, no, this is actually really cool. But like someone was saying, like, if you're playing this game, or maybe it was, I don't know, maybe it was Fextra Life's like 100-hour impression video. Someone was saying that if you are playing this game and you're feeling down on it, consider if it's because you're just playing like the main scenario, and if that's the case, stop doing that. Like, you should instead play this game in a way where you're just like gathering your supplies and then just like finding an area of the map that you haven't uncovered yet and just like walking out there and seeing what's up. Like,
Yeah.
that is so fun. Like, the idea of like how stressful it is for me to be like, okay, I'm in Bak Batal and I have to get back to Harv Village. Like, okay, I gotta prepare. And then it's like, oh no, like the day that I was like, I'm gonna go find the elves. Like, I'm gonna go find the secret elf arbor or whatever it is. And I didn't really know where it was. I just know where I had been, you know? So I was like, okay, I'm gonna go explore this region of the map today. And then like literally spending like 4 or 5 in-game days on the road, to the point where like by the time I got to the fucking elf town, I was like, oh, thank God. If I had to stay out on the road another day, I would be dead. Like, it's
I had a similar experience. I
Oh.
was sharing last week with
So
getting the
Chris,
back
since you haven't-
battles for the first time.
since you haven't played much since then, are you still in the same? Because you left us last time on a cliffhanger where you said you made it to that inn in the middle of nowhere, and they were going to charge you like $10,000 for a night.
No, so the story I told last week was my trek to Bak Batal, which, let me tell you, was a little dicey. And by the time I finally got there, I was like poisoned, and my mage was just curing me because I was like, this poison's gonna wear off eventually. And I finally make it to Bak Batal, and I get to the inn, and they want 9,999 gold, and I'm like, what the fuck?
That's so good.
No, but that was also before I knew that camping equipment would.
Yeah.
I didn't know. I thought it was a
Yeah.
resource that, and I
But-
didn't
but
have one
even
with me.
like-
It broke. I had one and
Yeah.
it broke or something, and I didn't have it. On my
Yeah,
hand.
like if you get ambushed in the middle of the night, it breaks your camp, and you have to.
I didn't know that's how it worked, because
Yeah.
it happened to me enough times where I got interrupted that I just assumed, or early
that
on, that it
certainly
was a
Dude, have you
explains-
guys? I mean, have you guys
usable resource.
been? I mean, I'm sure everyone's had this situation happen at least once, where like you're taking an ox cart somewhere, you get ambushed halfway
Yeah.
through, and then like during the fight, it's like the middle of the night,
Yeah,
and
they
during the
destroy the
fight, the
cart.
ox cart gets destroyed, and you're
Mhm.
like, oh fuck, I'm just like now
Yeah.
out here in the
Mhm.
wilderness, like like it's so good. I feel like every
The
time I
darkness
found a
is-
new town, I am like crawling into town, like I need
And
help.
that's the way it should be.
And it's so good, and it's so good.
It is the way
and
it should be. It's
it
big
is.
Morrowind vibes,
It
you
is.
know.
Like
The
this
ox
is
carts are just the still riders, you know?
like this game does exploration better than most exploration games. I feel
Yeah.
like somehow they've made I don't know, they've made my map like a meaningful resource, and they've made me like really consider anytime I'm gonna like go somewhere. Like I keep hearing about all this amazing stuff in the game that I haven't found yet, and I'm not, I'm not looking up where it is or anything, but I'm like, I need to go find that thing. So I'm like, setting expeditions for myself to like go out and try to find this or that, and that has
Do you
been
know?
a really
Do you
rewarding.
know
way
where
to
you
play
picked
the
up your first secret token?
I
game.
do.
Oh. I think it was in Vernworth, maybe. I don't know.
Let's hope so.
Why?
Apparently, he said
That was just a
apparently
PSA that everybody's been saying for the past week. I hope you remember
Mhm.
where you picked up your first secret token.
there's a quest related to, I
No
guess.
idea, no idea what that means,
Oh.
and I had no idea where I picked mine up. But yeah, so
I know it's somewhere between
Better figure
it's
it
somewhere
out.
between the starting area and the capital. I can tell you that.
I now know what
Um,
it's related
I
to.
took
But I'm
an
not gonna say.
what was great is like I took an ox cart to the capital the first time I went there. So like the ox cart is so great because like if you rest during the trip, it doesn't fill in any of the map for the time that you're
Oh,
unconscious.
is that true? Oh, that
Yes.
is true.
Yeah, it's so good. So like I'm like in the
Is you're
in the
asleep.
city, and I'm like, okay, I know what's going on in the immediate area around the city, but like I don't know what lies between here and like another place I've already been. Like I don't know how dangerous that road is. Like God, it's just hmm, hmm,
It's such a
it's so good.
It's such
And
a
what I
well-designed world.
and the like this is before like you get into the vocation system and everything like that, because this entire time until like a couple hours ago, until like maybe 2 hours ago, I had only played mage and sorcerer, like
hmm.
which is very
And what
different
are you
from how you
now?
would play anything else.
I just went to
In
warfare.
Yeah, I went with so after sorcerer, so I maxed out sorcerer, got all the augments for it. And then I did a couple levels of warrior, and then I did a couple levels of archer, and I don't remember why, but I just unlocked trickster. So I've been doing trickster. And trickster's
Hmm.
interesting because like I feel like I'm doing absolutely nothing.
You're
Like I
not.
don't
You
even think the
literally
thing
are.
I don't even think the thing that I am doing is doing that much, and like I'm trying like
It
I
doesn't
just
do damage. Literally.
yeah
What
but like
does
I
he
don't
do?
know like there's a like augments, like you can like buff all of your you can buff all of your allies attacks, which I don't know that that's actually helping. Their main
And
like
crowd
the
control and stuff.
for the first level, the only like weapon skill you have is like an aggro, is like a hey, look at me kind of aggro, and like I can't find a situation in which that's useful because I'm the squishiest member of the party. Like I I got the one where you can like put up 2 invisible walls now, and like that's fun, but I don't know what it's doing for me really.
Does the AI like
Um,
not go across the wall because they think it's a wall?
I don't know. Like battles are so chaotic. Like it's hard to
Yeah.
tell
Can be.
what's actually going on. I've I've used it more as like I'm gonna back up, drop a wall, and then like go behind with my mage and let them cast their healing magic. But like
Papa Shot
I've
in
been
chat says it feels more like an in-game class because by the time you get there, you're getting like level 50 pawns and shit.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, when
I'm
they
probably
revealed
gonna
it,
switch off.
when they revealed the class, they showed like a make a fake, like you're like on the edge of a cliff and you can like make a fake like extension to the cliff that the AI thinks is the ground, and they'll like run
What?
and jump onto that fake ground and
And
just
fall?
fall to their death off the cliff because it
That's what I'm
looks like
saying. I
fake
feel like
floor.
yeah, I feel like it's gonna be worth leveling up because there's gonna be crazy stuff like that. Like even right now, I've got the one where like there's one where you like go unconscious and your soul leaves your body and you can like scout areas ahead.
Like
As
astral
like
project?
astral projecting, yeah.
Yeah, I saw
Which
that.
is really cool. I haven't found a great situation where I'm like,
No.
it
No.
like this is something I need right now, but like it's really cool.
This
Which
class
is
has
everything
big-
with Trickster is like
This
I
class has
haven't
big Dragon's
found.
Dogma 1 energy, where it's
Yeah.
like, these are some great ideas. I can't wait for the sequel where they finally like flush us out into something.
Yeah, where they like finally
useful.
get this right. Yeah. I leveled it up enough to get the augment. Like they're one of the Trickster's augments is the one where it'll tell you when Wakestone shards and seeker tokens are nearby because you can like hear
Mhm.
them now
Oh.
and they blink. So you
Oh.
can like see them. So
Hmm.
you only have to get like 2 or 3 levels into Trickster to get that. So I've already got that. So I think I might put Trickster on the back burner for a minute and switch to a different
Some
class.
people had this idea of like the warfare where you could like do the Trickster stuff and like set up your little aggro pulling thing and then switch off, but apparently it like goes away super quick when you switch. So even in
Oh.
that situation, it's not useful.
Yeah.
It is a neat idea, but the execution is just
You know, the
a
number
little
of
dicey.
times this is pretty basic because I'm still pretty early, but just to kind of speak to like how fun and unpredictable combat can be, like just playing as like a warrior. It's a warrior. I think that's the starting like knight, like sword and
Fighter.
shield
Fighter.
class fighter. Okay, fighter. Yeah, like the number of times I've like been in combat with just like thieves and whatnot on the road or whatever, and I've just like resorted to like tapping them, picking them up, throwing them over my shoulder,
Yeah.
and just like tossing them off of a cliff.
If you're
It's
like
just so
and you're
good.
in a body of water, you just like throw them in and they like melt.
Oh
Like,
my god.
it's
I
brutal.
saw a clip on Twitter of someone who like picks up their pawn, throws them off a cliff, throws them off a cliff to their death, then
Mystic
pulls out
Archer.
their mystic archer or the magic archer and uses the revive arrow to like revive them, and then they jump off the cliff and their pawn catches them, and they're able
That
to traverse
What?
way down a cliff that way. And I'm
that
like,
is now
What?
that trick is now on every single things you didn't know, tips and tricks, things I wish
Oh,
I
yeah.
knew, like starter
Everyone
tips.
steals each other's shits.
Video that's out there now. I haven't found the unlock for Mystic Archer. Or Magic Archer. I haven't found the unlock for Mystic Spearhand. Is that what it's called?
Oh, Mystic Spearhand, I think you should be able to get early. I definitely got it early.
Is one of them I know it's like you have to find an item and then
Have you been back to Mel after?
I haven't been back to Melvin in so long.
It's so
Go
fun.
back
I keep
to
like
Melv, because
trying
the
to
guy
like
that gives
go.
it to you, I think, is there.
Oh yeah. Oh,
Because
dude,
I
did
just
you
assumed that's what you'd be repping. It's it's like a hooded Jedi with a twirly double staff.
wait, are you
it's-
talking about Warfare or
No. Mystic Spearhand. I thought that's what you'd be repping, but I guess you just don't have it yet.
I don't have it. I was going really hard on Sorcerer because Sorcerer is sick. Like Sorcerer is so fun. I love just like I'm so addicted now just to floating. Like I hate not being able to do it on any other class. Like there's so many things. Like this game is super vertical. There's so many things that it's like you probably shouldn't be able to get up there, but if you're a sorcerer, you can just kind of float up there and then
So
like,
I've had a couple scenarios where I have a sorcerer pawn that's with me. It's not mine.
yeah.
But yeah, they have that float ability. And yeah, so oftentimes I can have them either float across a gap, or there's like a treasure chest that's like on a small little like not little mountain, but a little like a higher up position I can't get to, and I'll point at it and they'll go and float up and get it.
Yeah.
But the pointing mechanics in this game are kind of weird. I mean, I don't really understand how they work because you can't like target something.
Yeah, it's
You
like
just kind of point in the
contextual,
direction
or-
and you're like, go.
You're just
And
kinda
so
like,
there's
"Do it." Yeah.
yeah, and so one of my pawns like floats over and they just stand next to the chest.
No.
And I'm like, dude, open it. What the fuck are you doing? And so I keep pointing, and so then my other pawn, like my actual pawn, not the one I've hired, is
Oh,
he said
there's a
something. I
chest
can't
up
remember
there.
what he said, and then he just walks off a cliff
Yeah.
to his death.
The
I'm like,
AI
what
gets
the
a
fuck are
little
you doing?
buggy. The AI gets a little
Um,
buggy from time to
But
time.
but
For sure.
the other one that I've seen that there's a mod for on PC that I would never download because whoever downloads this mod is a monster. But there's a mod that takes away the post-battle high fives with your pawns.
Why
Yeah,
would you
and I'm like,
do
why
that?
would you?
And your
Yeah, that's
time.
one of
I'm
the
like,
funnest things.
yeah.
But
Like,
why?
I love the fucking Tiger Woods meme where it's like my pawn after every battle, like big dog.
Why would I not want a high five cum lord after every battle? Come on.
It's so good. It's so good. Yeah, all the stuff with the pawns in this game is so good. Like I feel like the idea from the first game where they're like, oh, your pawns will have knowledge of quests that you haven't done yet or knowledge of secrets. Like that came up in the first game and it was cool.
It feels more
but-
tangible here.
But it wasn't as varied as it is here, and it wasn't as like like literally there have been like multiple like, hey, there's a cave over here, let's go check it out.
Almost didn't believe
And
it
then I
the
go in
first
there and
game.
find like cool loot and shit. Like it's so sick. It's so
Yeah.
sick.
Like in that first game, I was like, I see what I know what you're telling me this is happening behind the scenes here, but I don't know if I really believe it.
Yeah.
This game, I believe it. I feel like because it's just the number, like the dynamic, how dynamic it feels, and how many times they have actually pointed things out and like tried to lead me to places or say like I'm gonna take this information back to my master or whatever. I'm like, okay, it definitely feels like a much more tangible system in this game, and that's great.
Yeah, and I think part of that is just the broadening of the world design too. There's just more stuff for that to be like relevant, you know. It's so much fun. I don't know, like this is a weird, imperfect, like brilliant, insane game sometimes. And I'm so fucking thankful that it exists.
Yeah,
Like
no,
it's so sick, and like honestly, like I'm sitting here loving it, and it's also making me excited for the next Monster Hunter. For what is that called? Monster Hunter
Wilds,
Yep.
Wilds. Yeah. Like there's I don't know, man. Like I was playing Warriors, swinging around that greatsword, being like, if only I had my
I know,
fucking
right?
Argakuga
Right?
greatsword.
Like you know, the combat in Dragon's Dogma was nice, but like let's be real here. If it was just Monster Hunter combat,
Dude,
that
if
was
it was
fine.
Monster
Oh my
Hunter,
God.
this would be perfect.
Well, like that lame ass tackle that they give the warrior is so like,
Yeah.
you know, one of my complaints last week, and I was mostly like echoing pretty much everything you're saying. I think we all were, but I feel like it's a little like it seems so limited. Like I feel like they could have done so much more with the vocation system and even the combat system in terms of like something like some a little more depth, a little more synergy. Like it would be great if you could just swap to your pawn in battle, which by the way you can in Rise of the Ronin. Switch to your pawn in battle just so I can like play two different classes on any given like fucking journey, because it's such a to do just switch your classes, and like there's so like that stuff is so good, it's so fun, but you know they really don't give you the opportunities to like fuck with too much of it, like at least not easily. And I just want to get the warfare, and I saw like Mike saying in chat earlier, just so I can use stuff like
Just
levitate
switch,
without actually like being like a full-blown sorcerer. I could just swap to the staff and like do my levitate and swap back. Like I want a little more versatility with my class and my move set, and I feel like they could have gone a little harder on that. I feel like the warfare should have like maybe been like the default class. You should have always been able to like switch weapons and not have it like waste one of your skill slots, you know? Like it's crazy to me that you can switch. And we talked about last week, when you're warfare, you have to waste a skill slot, a face button to even swap weapons, but like the actual skills on your other three buttons, they don't even change. So like if you're like a sorcerer slash like warrior, you can have like two spells and like maybe one warrior skill, and that's it. And I feel like that is such a wasted opportunity, because the skills are so cool and the spells are so cool, and like the movement, like the weapons, I feel like there could be so much more depth there. And like the stuff that they had in Dragon's Dogma Online, there was more new crazy classes and skills in that than there are in this versus the original game. And I'm like, why were they so stingy with that stuff? I don't really get it. Maybe they're planning to do a big expansion, but even the Dark Arisen for the first game really didn't introduce much new. They introduced like another class level for the vocations with some new skills there, but like wasn't much. And I don't know.
Real
I don't
quick,
know. I want more. I want more. I want the next Dragon's Dogma now in another 12 years so they can iterate on it again.
But before we move on, I wanted to throw it over to Nolan for a second. I know you've been playing a lot of it too.
Mhm.
How is it going for you, sir?
I mean, I would echo the statements that we've already been talking about. Sorry, I'm not feeling well at the moment, so I'm not super talkative. But no, yeah, I agree with a lot of the things that both Crispy and Brad have been saying. I've been really enjoying the exploration. While I echo that there's been a lot of pawn improvements with the AI, there are definitely still limitations. I can't remember who said it in chat earlier. I'm trying to find it real quick, but
Was it
it's that
Spongy?
whole thing. No, it's that thing where when you're just running down the road and like a random pawn just like, hey, or is it? And they start talking to you. It's like, dude, fuck off, man. Like, I'm not gonna hire you. Get out of
It drives me
here.
crazy.
And yeah, that is annoying, and yes, it does end up meaning I end up having like wide berths when I'm going to, if I see another thing, I'm just like, nope, just gonna, like, I feel like awkward, I'm like, gotta go into the other side of the street. I'm like, fuck off, man.
I
I don't have any
really funny with the
change.
people.
Yeah.
Because sometimes I
um
never quite know. Like, is this a pawn? I'm like, okay, well, that one's
yeah, I'm
definitely
never
a
sure
pawn.
if it's like, because
Get
it's
too
the whole
close
thing
and
is
you'll
like,
find out.
it's the whole thing of like, in theory, every single NPC can be talked to. And sometimes they might have a quest for you. And so it's like, I don't want to like avoid them because I'm like, is this a pawn or is this a random guy on the road who might give me a quest?
Yeah.
And so far I've just been avoiding them.
Mr.
But
Papa.
yeah,
Yeah, go ahead. Mr.
no, I
Papa
was just
Shot in
gonna,
chat says I feel like this game is barely holding together as it is, and like that is not only true, but like there's a little bit of charm to that because on my
Yeah.
first trip to like through the checkpoint and I started to head to
Mhm.
Back Batal, there's like a story moment where like an important character in like a fancy ox cart or whatever is passing
Yeah.
through, and I'm like,
Mhm.
okay, well, I guess he's just on his journey, and I'm like, well, I'm gonna keep heading in that direction too. And I'm like running down, and I'm fighting some goblins. And all of a sudden, a griffin comes down. I'm like, oh shit, I guess I'm fighting a fucking griffin now because that's what Dragon's Dogma does. But then I'm like, wait, but that important like story character is like still coming, and I'm fighting this griffin. And I'm like, is the game gonna be okay here? Because this griffin, I feel like it could completely obliterate this dude's like carriage. I don't know what could happen,
Dude.
and I'm like desperately trying to fight this
So,
griffin without it,
There's a
without
number
getting
of
close to this
times.
story NPC.
There's a number of times where like story NPCs after I finish the quest randomly just start attacking me. And then all of my pawns jump on them and murder them.
Yeah.
And I'm like, whoa, everyone calm down. And it's like I love that the solution that like the game's solution to that kind of weird unintended interaction is just like, well, there's a morgue and their body will be there. You can go resurrect them if you need them, I guess. Like
That's a thing?
yes.
Oh
yeah. The different cities have their own charnel houses, and if you go there, they have all these slabs, and like any NPC that dies will be on those slabs, and you can take Wakestone and revive them.
yeah.
So if
There's
it's
an
a quest
extremely rare
NPC,
item.
yeah.
There's an extremely rare way, so maybe only one in the entire playthrough that can revive an entire city.
Yeah.
And let me tell you,
There's because
There
Nick,
might be a
there's a
reason
reason
for it.
you
Nick.
might want that.
well, no, I mean like, oh, are we just saying, come on.
Let's not get
there's,
into it. Hold on, let's not
tooltips
get into
for
it.
There's tooltips for it. Come on.
So the other, what I want to say is one of the things, so speaking of reviving NPCs that get killed, potentially important quest lines, NPCs getting murdered, this game really forces me to play in a play style I'm not used to, in that there's not really a save and load feature. You can't just like pop a quick save and then fuck around and then load that quick save. That's not really a thing. Yeah, can you save your game? Yeah, sure, but that's not really how it works. Like doing anything in the world will do an auto save if enough stuff happens or certain things happen. And my general play style, just because I'm fucking insane person, is I constantly save in case I make a mistake that I want to take back. But I can't really do that in this.
No.
And
Save
it
scumming
really
is not
two
something to be
saves,
sad.
There's a
be
hidden
embarrassed about.
save. There's
No,
your
I know,
last
I know.
in sleep. But like I've definitely gotten to the moment where I'm in the middle of the city. I'm like, oh, this douche talks flip. I'm gonna pick him up and throw him. And then all of a sudden, like, oh, I'm fighting all these people. Oh, I think I'm gonna have to kill this guy. Wait, who was that? Was that guy important? Then like, do I reload here? I'm sure everything will be all right.
No,
Yeah,
and to
you
your
can't
point, yes,
fuck
there is
around
the-
as much. But
There
yeah.
is the last end save, but oftentimes that last end save was like 5 hours ago. And while I
Mhm.
don't mind reloading 15 minutes or 20 minutes of gameplay, I really do not want to backtrack on 5 hours of
5
gameplay.
hours is a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, and
It
so
raises the
yeah,
stakes, man.
it does, and that's one of the things I like about it is because it pushes me out of my comfort zone. But that being said, as well, it really makes me, I don't want to say spend less time like worried or concerned, because I'm like, you know what, whatever happens is going to happen, and I'll just move on and I'll just keep going. And so I really like that it's kind of changing how I at least play this game. Obviously, if I play any other game that has an instant save, I'm still going to do it. But I like that this game is kind of, it forces your hand to it a little bit.
Mike
Right,
says low
right.
turn. Everybody says low turn. Let me tell you, how about we just have the Dragon's Dogma team make a Lord of the Rings game?
This is just going
It could
right
be
back
pretty
to
good.
Larian situation. Let's make
Get
just
to
let
Mordor.
Larian make a
Get to
Star
Mordor.
Wars game. God damn it.
Okay. I mean, like, we're gonna talk about pawns, but we're not gonna talk about the plague.
It brings it up. It tells you
Oh.
about it. There's a force like menu thing where it tells you about
That's
it.
what I was saying. It's like we
I
should
didn't-
talk about that.
I've heard people
We
talk
can.
about it. I'm not far enough about to really like.
I don't think
know-
any of us are far enough to have it really affecting our games yet.
It's not
though, so maybe
affected
we'll
me
talk
yet. I'm
about
just
it.
aware. Yeah.
Yeah.
I hear it's more
Well,
of like
that's-
a late game thing.
That's a big reason why you would want to be able to revive an entire town,
Oh.
because the dragon plague can drive a pawn crazy, and then if it progresses far enough, you'll rest, and while you're asleep, your pawn will go murder everybody in the town.
Jesus.
hmm
Well, that sounds.
And you wake up and everyone's dead. But I also heard if you wait a couple days, they all come back. So I
No,
don't
Wait,
know.
really?
I think certain
didn't know about that one.
shopkeepers and
Hmm.
maybe story-related NPCs will come back, but not everyone.
Yeah, you gotta like watch your pawns. Like if they
Yeah.
start getting out
For
of
signs.
Wait, are
Acting
you
funny.
telling
If they
me
start talking
Lord
funny.
can't be trusted?
Well,
none of them can be trusted. I mean,
the PSA is like if they start like giving you lip, or if they're not like obeying your commands in battle,
Yeah.
yeet them into the
Or-
brine.
yeah, or like if you
Use
see
them
them
into
have
Brian.
apparently also if they have headgear equipped, if they progress far enough, they will automatically unequip their headgear so that you can see that their eyes are glowing.
Interesting.
Oh.
Yeah,
Little
it's
details,
wild.
man. Lots of really cool little details in this game.
Mhm.
Yeah, for sure.
It's-
All right. I'm sure, as always, we'll revisit.
We will
We're
revisit
going to be
this
playing
one
Dragon's
for
Dogma
sure.
for a while, so
Yeah.
we'll revisit on a future episode.
Oh,
And
good.
things will continue to progress. In the meantime, guys, we're going to take a short break. When we come back, I'm going to talk a little bit about that sweet Stellar Blade demo. I know Chris Davis has been playing a little Unicorn Overlord, and then of course we'll wrap up with the 4-player minute. So if you're watching us live on Twitch or YouTube, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Number?
789. You doing all right there, Nolan?
Yeah, I might buy out. My head's kind of hurting. I
That's
don't know
cool.
if it's
That's
the
fine.
Feel better,
lights and all this
Holmes.
other stuff. So it's the past like 30 minutes. It's all of a sudden just really started hurting. So I might bow
Word.
out. I'm
Go
glad I
ahead.
got to talk about at least Dragon's Dogma and stuff like
Oh,
that.
show, man. Oh,
I do want to hear about Stellar Blade. So for the first time,
Well,
in a
I'm
long
sure
time,
we'll
I
talk about it
probably
again when the
will.
game's actually out.
I'm sure we
so.
will, but I'll probably at least watch the section on YouTube when it gets posted.
Ooh.
But yeah, I'm gonna bow out. So thanks, y'all. I'll talk to y'all later. I would be interested in whatever. Could someone remind me the name of that new indie multiplayer game, whatever something.
Content
warning. So if we want to do a game night of that at some point, I'd definitely be willing to jump in on that.
Cool.
I like playing games with y'all.
It sounds like perhaps next week might end up being a game night situation. We'll see. We'll let everybody know. But yeah.
Awesome.
Anyways, feel better,
Alrighty.
Nolan.
Thanks, y'all.
Yeah, feel better.
Thank y'all. Talk to y'all later. Bye.
Yeah.
Bye.
All
second, I
right.
gotta fix
I
the
will be
cameras.
right back.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe it was the low frame rate in that Dragon's Dogma footage that got him. Never mind.
There we go. Okay, I'm set now.
I have been staying up late playing Rise of the Ronin. It's very addictive. It's hard to stop playing. Wow.
You were saying a
But
lot
like
of good,
all this
lot of
talk
things that
about
are getting my
Dragon's
attention.
Dogma has got me like really itching to get back to it, but I'm worried, right? I feel like I want to keep up with this. Like I don't want to. I mean, I'm just so hooked on Ronin right now, and I know, like, I own Dragon's Dogma 2, right? Like, I know I'm gonna go back to that, but I don't want. I feel like if I put down Ronin, who knows, right? This year has been crazy.
Does
But
Rise of
this
the
whole
Ronin
year
have a
has been,
performance mode?
yeah. What game doesn't have a performance mode these days?
Well, not Dragon's Dogma 2.
Were you playing Dragon's Dogma 2?
No, not yet.
Well, then what do you know?
I mean, I'm just saying I want to play it on console. You were saying all the right things that I wanted to hear about Rise of the Ronin, so I'm thinking that
Rise
might
of the
be my
Ronin
next game.
Rise of the Ronin is only on PS5 right now, I believe.
Oh,
Or
really?
right? Yeah, it's a PS5 exclusive, I believe. Or
Oh,
my, yeah,
Hmm.
yeah.
did the rest
I
of?
don't know. I don't know why is it not on PC yet, actually. Yeah, Sony published it, so I get that
Okay.
part. But why would it not be on PC? They publish on PC as well. You know, it might be just be tech wise, right? Like, you know, wasn't Wolong pretty dicey on PC at launch? So I guess I wouldn't be surprised that if they're just kind of waiting a little bit to polish it up a little bit. Yeah, I think it was coming in hot. I think I think a lot of big Japanese games are trying to get in before that first quarter fiscal whatever.
Yeah, okay.
Wolong is
Yeah.
still dicey on PC. Yeah, I bet that's what it was.
I don't like that anything Koei Tecmo outputs on Steam, they also list themselves as a developer, not just the publisher.
What?
Like Neo, it says Koei Tecmo developed it.
Yeah, a lot of Steam stuff is like that though. It's just
Yeah, but like this is a bigger publisher. They could be a little more respectful of their developers.
yeah. But I mean, whatever. You start up the game, it says Team Ninja. We know who made it.
Oh
But
yeah,
yeah,
Wolong is still
you-
mixed on Steam.
It's funny, like where my phone? I was looking up Team Ninja because you were like slagging like modern Team Ninja, right? And I was just thinking about, well, you know, it's not the biggest budget game in the world, but like, man, Team Ninja has been putting out like game after game after game, and
They
you know,
churn 'em.
they've been kind of like, you know, they've all been like like since let's see, since 2017 when they put out Neo, they also put out you know, they helped with the Warriors games, the Nintendo Warriors games,
Mhm.
but they also did Dead or Alive 6. I forgot about Dead or Alive 6 and Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3. They devved Ultimate Alliance 3. I completely forgot about it. Remember the Switch
I did not
exclusive?
know that.
So wild. Published by Nintendo, Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3, developed by Team Ninja. And then they also did, you know, Neo 2 and Stranger of Paradise. Like they've
Man,
been
that fucking studio has
they've been
transformed.
shipping games, and those games have been like all like fun, you know, like good, like Team Ninja for a long time was really kind of you know, like look, I love Ninja Gaiden Black. It'll always be one of my favorite action games.
Yeah.
But like as someone who has never really like, you know, I'm a Tekken fan. I've never really gave a shit about Dead or Alive outside of the PS1 version. You know, I've dabbled, and I know people like they're like somewhat respected. Like the FGC doesn't take them very seriously, but it's kind of like Mortal Kombat. It's like everyone recognizes it as a competent fighting game, but no one takes it seriously at like a top level. But from what I understand, like those are always like pretty good, and just to see them kind of like shipping dub after dub, like I'm pretty impressed. I even heard like Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3 is pretty fun. It was just such a shame that it was a Switch exclusive, which is still mind blowing if you think about it. Weird. What does that even? I bet that game is like. What does that game cost these days? I bet that game would probably. That's probably like a popular like emulated game, right? Since the only way you're going to play it at a high resolution is to like play it in a Switch emulator.
Sorry, Ultimate Alliance?
Yeah, Ultimate Alliance 3. That's so weird. That's so weird. In like the height of like Marvel popularity, right? In like theaters.
Yeah, you think that like a couple
like
years later,
Ultimate
like
Alliance
Disney
3,
would force them to do a port.
Nintendo published. That's so weird.
Yeah.
Super
I'll be right back and grab a
weird.
drink.
I think I heard this is like all right.
Wait, what are we talking about? What's all right?
Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3. The Nintendo published Team Ninja developed Switch exclusive Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3. So weird. A series that had been gone for like over a decade.
Yeah, that's unexpected.
It was very unexpected. It's funny. Funny. Did you ever play that, Crispy?
What?
The Switch exclusive Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3?
Yeah.
Oh, you did?
I can't
And?
believe they never came to anything, but I guess it makes sense since Nintendo published it. What a choice.
Yeah, I don't know. I played it like once with my roommate, and then we never played it again.
Y'all, you passed him a Joy-Con, and y'all put it into kickstand mode, and you're like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, on the roof of our apartment building during a
Oh man,
block party.
what a weird choice. It just seems like something that would have come to PC eventually, but
Yeah.
strange.
Mm-mm-mm-mm.
Ow.
I feel like this would be expensive for some reason. How much does this cost? Does GameStop have this?
Ultimate Alliance 3?
Yeah. Oh, it's not cheap. What
Dude,
the
I
fuck?
remember when I worked at GameStop, Marvel Ultimate Alliance 2 was like the fucking holy grail of,
Really?
you know,
Go up.
yeah, like it was super rare to find in the store, and when it was in the store, it was like $80 or $90.
It's still 45.
used.
It's still $45. Fuck.
Yeah, it ain't
Fucking
cheap on eBay either.
crazy.
Wow. Huh.
Weird.
All right, are we ready? Chris Davis, did you want to talk about Unicorn Overlord tonight?
I mean, Brad's talked about it a lot. I would like to talk a little bit with him about it.
Okay.
Yeah, doesn't have to be much. It'll just be a few minutes.
Cool. I mean, I just tried it. So Stellar Blade, a little bit of Unicorn Overlord, 4-player minute.
I'm recording.
Boom. All
one
right.
second.
Well, in that case,
Let
I
me get
too
mine
am
going.
recording.
I'm not. Give me a second.
He's putting on his hood. Where'd your cool glasses
Like the
go?
Mystic Spear Hand. I hate how the Mystic Spear Hand looked when I got it, and I switched off the class. I just couldn't deal with it.
Okay, I am recording now.
The
Sweet.
double-bladed staff and the hood and the. I just couldn't deal
That
with
sounds
it.
sick. What are you talking
I
about?
knew you would think it's sick, and I know Crispy's gonna think it's sick, but like it's the opposite of sick for me.
We'll see.
It's too
I-
Sick is a
cool for Brad.
warrior with a big sword or a
It's too cool for Brad.
sorcerer.
Oh, and
All right.
good news
It's
for you,
too
Nick.
Cool for me.
What's up?
I figured out what was going on with my auto gain with my mic. I fixed that. You should be getting decent quality audio this week.
Cool.
Mm,
I
what'd
didn't
you
know there
figure
was
out?
an issue, but cool.
There's
I think
a
I knew there was an
toggle
issue.
in proprietary software for my Elgato mic that you have to disable auto gain adjustment in order to actually get to fucking work properly.
All right. Good
Very
to know.
fucking annoying.
Good to know. Also, I
Gonzo,
will
thank
just
you.
say this. Yes, thank you, Gonzo. Much appreciated. Real quick, to everybody who listens to the show, it came up in Discord this week that some people may have been experiencing some issues with the audio, specifically with Brad's audio for whatever reason.
in the podcast or
Apparently,
the
some
video?
people have tried to bring this to my attention, but I never saw them or whatever, so it was kind of news to me or whatever, and that kind of blew my mind. But the point is, if you have issues hearing somebody, let me know. But like, it's also very strange because I technically listened to the show on 3 different like audio sources before I publish it, and they all sound balanced and even and fine. So I don't know how that could be so dramatically different from somebody else's listening experience. But I'm also not an audio engineer, and I may not be able to fix it. But if you know, if you
Are you
if you
listening
hear
to-
something that sounds off, let me know. Like, I mean, I listen to it in the car. I listen to it in Audacity with these headphones.
Okay.
I listen to it on my phone with my earbuds, my Bose earbuds. Like, it sounded fine. It sounded fine. In fact, some borderline too loud for Brad at times.
Well, I turned myself up this week, so
Okay, well, we'll see what happens. I'm just saying, if there is
So
something
God help
weird,
you.
bring it to my attention, but also don't frame it in such a way that like, hey, the audio is fucked. Just be like, hey, I don't know if anybody else is experiencing this, but this is what it sounds like to me. Because I
And-
can't possibly account for everybody's audio or everybody's listening setup or whatever. But
And you put all of our channels through a compressor, I think. So we should
I
be
put them
okay.
through a compressor and an equalizer, so by the time they're all like, all the wavelengths are the same, and all of the peaks where like the decibel levels where it's like peaking, they're all peaking at around the same. So it should be even, and we should be. So if Brad's quiet, technically speaking, we should all be quiet. So there shouldn't be a scenario where like one person is louder, dramatically louder or quieter than anybody else. So that was what I found a little strange. But whatever. I just wanted, that's a little PSA. Anyways, let's get to it. Everybody's recording?
Let me restart my
Yes.
recording.
Yeah, I'll start my recording again. Sorry. I went off on an unexpected tangent
All right.
there.
I'm good now.
All right. We good?
we're good.
Indeed.
Let's do this.
Crispy, you're
Bro.
recording?
Yeah.
Okay. Then roll call starts now. Brad,
Hello.
Crispy,
Hello.
Chris Davis.
Hello, this is Chris talking into the mic, getting a voice print for Nick to use to sync.
Perfect. Thank you. Welcome back to the show, everybody. Before we get started, I just want to let you know, if you're listening, Nolan did have to bow out at the end of the show, so we'll see him on a future episode, or perhaps next week for game night. We'll see if you are. We're still trying to figure out kind of what's going on with next week's show. It might end up being a trailer talk night or a game night, or I'm not sure, but we'll keep everybody apprised of that situation. Make sure you're in our Discord at discord.gg/4player. That's the best place to keep track of everything going on with us. But anyways, little mid-show housekeeping. But I now want to talk about, and I'm going to be honest, I had no idea that I'm the only person here who played this. You fools. I played the demo.
All right,
I
Nick.
played the demo for
Let's
Stellar
calm down.
Blade. Roll that sweet footage. A lot of, so just
Uh-huh.
FYI, a lot of this footage is, I pretty much started the footage. I started the demo over, so like it's basically the first like 15 minutes of this demo, so it's a lot of it is very cutscene heavy. If you're not sure what Stellar Blade is, you've probably seen.
It's the booty game.
Oh, it's. I feel weird even calling it the booty game. It's like, you know, sexy lady game, right?
It's much
you
more
know,
just than booty,
it's definitely much more than that. But it's also kind
like other jiggly bits.
of, other jiggly bits. And I'll be honest, having played this now, if you want, I'll dig into the gameplay here in a second. I do think there's definitely more to it than just being kind of this sexy lady, maybe borderline gratuitous sexy lady action game. But Brad, you said this in Discord, and I think it holds true. I think there is definitely a very obvious reason this game is suddenly on the tips of everybody's lips. You know what I mean? Like everybody's talking about this game for a very obvious reason, and I think a lot of those conversations have kind of been, well, this is also surprisingly deep and fun, and maybe it's
Damn
more
it.
competent than people are giving it credit for. Based
I
on the way
really
it
didn't
looks.
need to hear that out of your mouth, Nick. I really needed
What?
that.
Which
I
part?
need to hear you say that this game is terrible, that it's not going to sell well, and it's going to get terrible reviews.
Well, first of all,
Fuck.
let me just preface this by saying this is even after playing the demo, this is very much for me. Like, I will play this game if it reviews higher than like a 70.
Yeah.
That's kind of like my threshold. There's some games where
Do
it's
you
like
think it will?
I don't care. There's some games where I'm like, I don't really care what critics think, even if the scores poorly. I know it's my shit. I'm going to play it, right? That's kind of how I felt about Alone in the Dark. I knew I'm gonna play Alone in the Dark, even if it scored what it did, which was like mid 60s, whatever. But like, this is a game I'm kind of waiting for it to like really prove itself, because a demo, it's kind of hard to really get that across in a demo, I suppose. And I'm skeptical, and I think a lot of my skepticism does kind of stem from maybe some of their art design choices. I don't know.
And some
I
of the
don't know.
things they've said.
Maybe some of the things they've said, and some of the weird things they've said about, like, they spent a lot of time modeling her ass because that's what you're going to be staring at for the entire game. Like, things like that just kind of set off some alarm bells. You know what I mean? But and this is weird. Like, I usually associate this kind of action game with like something that comes out at the beginning of a console's life cycle. It reminds me very much of like a Heavenly Sword, or just and I think I say that because of like a lot of the like it's like this weird science fiction universe, this original science fiction universe that's just kind of over the top, and there's a lot of time and efforts and money obviously spent on using the tech in interesting ways, so like creating just giant set pieces and stuff, and like it kind of leads me to kind of be skeptical of how deep is this game, like how legitimately fun is this game. And I do think the demo does a little bit to assuage those concerns, because I mean, but it is pretty like standard fare for this genre, right? I mean, it's got kind of what you come to expect. You attack with square, you have to do heavy attacks with triangle. You're timing your blocks or your parries to like get, like, it kind of has like the Bayonetta, what do they call it, where you do like the dodge, and it like suddenly like everything
Witch
slows.
time.
Well, yeah, it kind of has a little bit of that witch time thing, which, if you do a perfect parry with a block, or you do a perfect dodge, it kind of slows down time for a second, creates this cool like effect and stuff. Like, that stuff really feels really good here. It's really satisfying, but it's like,
And you've got enemy design straight out of Scorn, looks like.
enemy designs are
Bad.
Yeah.
they're not great. It's another one of those things that kind of leaves me to like, I mean, I kind of feel like that way about everything in this game. It's like everything is over designed. That's kind of the thing that I keep coming back to. It like every single thing is super over designed. Like all these character I'll be honest, this game might have the drip. I don't know. There's certainly, and you go into the menu, it has like costumes. I mean, you can't really pick anything in the demo, right? But there's a space for it. It's like you're going to be swapping out a lot of outfits and costumes for these characters, and all the enemies are like kind of super detailed, but also super generic looking at the same time, like just weird Gorn looking aliens or whatever. And it's also one of these games where it's like they throw you kind of into the deep end in this like new universe, and they just start throwing around terms that like sound really weird because you've never heard them before. Like they're trying to like world build by just using foreign sounding words like that you've never heard before, like alpha nativa or some things like that. And it's like I can't quite put
Isn't
my
this
finger
the
on it.
next Nier game? It's.
I mean, I will say this: kind of the like the tone they're going for, maybe a little bit of Nier, and like
What is that?
just in terms of like
the tone of Nier is like
when you
depression.
Yeah.
right. Okay, maybe not. I mean, some depressing shit happens in this demo, and you eventually get to kind of this, like, after you get through all this like crazy set piece shit that you're seeing happening on the screen here, you're in kind of like this destroyed ancient city, and the music's kind of somber, and it's raining, and you're running around as sexy lady, and like fighting weird looking alien things. I mean, it's obviously not to the same level as Nier, but I would be shocked if Nier wasn't some kind of subtle inspiration for this game.
Well, more
Subtle.
than subtle.
Yeah.
Maybe not subtle. Yeah, nothing subtle about this game. I don't know why I use the word subtle. It's kind of the opposite of that. Yeah.
So
I
the
don't-
game is better than it had any right to be, which is, I guess, the surprising part, right?
but
Because
can it sustain
this
that
is
for a
some-
full game?
this is-
I
this
don't
is-
know.
we haven't talked about this developer, but this is a Korean developer of like kind of a
mobile games, right?
porny mobile gotcha game, right? That's
Shift up.
Right.
you know, I don't know if you've ever seen the ads, but it's like I don't know what the gameplay is actually like, but you see like the jiggly ladies are like behind cover, and then they'll pop out and they'll like shoot like at things in the mobile game or whatever, and their asses will like jiggle as they're shooting, and
Yeah,
it's like
dude,
it's like taking up like a third of the screen. It's got us Nikkei, got us
Just
the
physics,
victory.
baby.
You know, I mean,
It-
like here's the
And
here's
like,
the
and
thing.
so, but well, I want to say this because I've noticed this. Like last year, Lies of P was a game that I thought kind of looked nice, but I didn't take it very seriously because of it was another Korean developer that had a background in making like an MMO that was like not well received at all. It was like a very poorly received like MMO
Right.
type game that like it's like, okay, well, I don't know what this Lies of P is, but they definitely don't make big budget action games that are actually good and polished. And then it came out and it was like, this is good. I don't know. I don't know this developer. And
Yeah.
I guess they're on the map now. And I feel like Genshin Impact changed things, right? Which
Yeah.
wasn't Korean, but it was a Chinese developed game. And I feel like a lot of what you saw out of like China and Korea were like MMOs or like mobile online gotcha things. And like, but Genshin Impact comes along and they're like, you know, we can just kind of make our own Breath of the Wild. And it's like a really nice looking, polished, you know, action game where you explore the world and stuff. And people took notice and they spent a lot of time and money making that, and it paid off, right? That thing
So
was
what you're
huge.
saying?
And now you're seeing stuff like Wukong, right, which is coming out, and it's like another Chinese developer you've never heard of before with like no real history. And it's like, I don't know, this looks nice, but you know, I think especially with Korean games, they've had a history of games that show really well in trailers, especially like MMOs with like action combat, and then people play them and they're like, well, this runs like shit and it feels like garbage. It looked nice in a trailer, you know, like Crimson Desert. Like some people are, it's from the Black Desert Online people or whatever, right? And that's like the textbook like Korean MMO that shows really well in trailers, but then you play it and it's like, well, I can wear a skimpy outfit and that's nice, but like this thing plays like shit. And you know, I sort of had those concerns for something like this, right? Because you know, this isn't the kind of game that they're known for like putting out and just like killing it. But this could be a Lies of P situation. It could just be.
It could be.
Like things have changed and these studios are taking these games a little more seriously, you know, and they're not just like mobile trash, which is literally what the developer used to make.
Right.
So
And-
Lies of P or fucking Black Myth Wukong is gonna be good.
Yeah, I mean, yeah,
That's
right?
nice.
I mean, that's the thing.
Certainly
Like,
think so
it-
yeah.
Also,
I'm
I will
hesitant
say
enough to
that-
where like I'm not gonna bid on it in like Fantasy Critic necessarily, but like
Well, you
I'm
can't.
definitely have my attention. Like Wukong is definitely one I'm gonna be like looking at reviews saying like, is this the real deal?
You
because
can't
it
bid
look-
on it in Fantasy Critic because I already have it.
No, I'm saying
I
like I
counterpicked it.
never
Black Myth,
plan to draft it or
Wukong.
whatever.
I will say this though about like Black Desert Online. I've read into that game a few times, and the only complaints I ever like, most of the complaints I hear about that game are not in like the actual action of the game, but in just like how grindy it is. So I don't
Which
know,
is-
like these studios may have their gameplay shit together, you know, like their actual like minute to minute action responsiveness.
I mean, I will say this:
Might be good.
I was pleasantly surprised by Lies of P, by the demo for this game. Like, I don't think it's like the tightest action game I've ever played, but it feels nice. It feels responsive. Like when you time your parries, time your dodges, and you start to really get into the combat, it feels pretty good. I don't think it's gonna, you know, obviously just based on the demo. Like you go into the menu and there's a pretty surprisingly big skill tree that you can kind of glimpse in the demo, and so like it leads me to believe if like that by the time you finish this game, the combat's going to feel dramatically more complex and more interesting.
so
But it's kind of hard
hilarious
to
though,
gauge that
right?
from a demo.
Like we're only talking about this game because of yeah. Like people are saying, well, it's better than I thought it'd be. It's competent. That's good enough. And like, I feel like Rise of the Ronin because it's like some ugly game, right? Or it's but of course, like, Team Ninja knows their fucking combat, but no one gives a shit. They want to play the mid one with the pretty jiggly lady, and it's like sucking all the air out of the
We
room.
talked about
and,
the pretty jiggly lady. Like I have no problem playing as a sexy lady.
fine,
I
I
love
hope it's
playing as
good.
sexy ladies. It's fine. But like there is
Not what I
something a
said.
little there's something a little I mean there's something a little
If the
off-putting
game
when it
looked
feels
like
like
shit
people
and it didn't have this jiggly lady, no one would be talking about this game.
right, like
You're
it
just
almost feels-
jealous that she looks cuter than your lady.
Okay. My lady's got plenty cute grips.
Plenty of jiggle, okay?
No, she don't really jiggle much, which is crazy, right? Because fucking literally Team Ninja put
Rock
jiggle
hard.
on the map with the original Dead or Alive. Damn it, they invented jiggle.
Where's the
Look,
jiggle?
some of
the jiggle?
there's something to be said about like when like
Sweet baby got to Team Ninja.
look, listen. There's something to be said when like the sexy lady at the front of your game is kind of being used to like prop up the rest of the game, because I feel like, again, like you said, this is the kind of like the elephant in the room. This is why everyone's kind of talking about this game, is because it's so kind of like in your face and gratuitous in a lot of ways. And two, like, oh my god, I just had a thought.
She wears high heels without the heels. It's literally just like a ballet slipper where she's forced to like stand on her toes.
Before I played this demo, I had to I was like, I went into Robin was in the other room watching something. I was like, hey, just so you know, just in case you walk into my room in the next few minutes, I'm playing a game. Okay, I'm playing a game. It's a little interesting. Just
But you're like, I'm doing it for the good of Gamergate. I have to do my part.
Fuck you.
This is for the West.
This is to make all games better.
Hey,
It's
look,
okay,
I'm not
honey.
saying
They're combat heals.
I'm not saying they can't do cool shit with this character, because I'll say this: I think it's like the voice acting was surprisingly.
Why does her hair look so
solid.
stupid? It's like a.
It
it's
looks
like
like
hair.
it looks like her hair from Heavenly Sword. Do you remember how her hair behaved in Heavenly Sword? Is very similar, but that was like
Yeah, that game came
PS3
out in
tech at launch.
2007. This looks.
I know.
Like that tech.
It's weird,
Oh, those
but like
sucks,
also
actually.
just for a second, obviously everyone's calling this the ass game, right? There are moments.
There's titties, jiggly titties.
Sure,
too.
there are ass and titties, but
Oh,
like there
And,
are
you know,
moments.
13-year-old head on the body. That's the kicker, right?
There are moments, and I think specifically there are moments when you're like platforming or like shimmying across, because there's a lot of like climbing on. As far as I can tell, this is structured a little bit kind of like a level in Devil May Cry, because it's kind of limited, kind of linear, but you can like branch off of paths and like climb up like ledges and stuff to get to like treasure, and then you kind of have to circle back around to go to the main path and progress or whatever. But like you do a lot of like shimmying across ledges and on like the pole vaulting shit stuff, kind of like Tomb Raider-esque, but it doesn't look nearly as good as Tomb Raider. But like there are moments when she's like shimmying on a ledge and she's like hanging there, where her it looks like gravity is just trying to like pull her ass off of her body, which is very weird looking. Like it looks like
Like it's elongating while she's hanging.
it's like they're like Jello molds, right? And they're just like
Yeah.
slowly getting along.
Like these games, they don't move like the Dead or Alive extreme beach games from Team Ninja.
It's not
Well,
like
when a boob starts jiggling, it's like that's not what a boob. No boob has ever moved like that. Like, is this supposed to be titillating? It's just alien. It's
There-
weird.
To a 14-year-old, it is.
there are moments when she's like engaged in combat or like just walking along and the camera's behind her, it's like, yeah, her ass looks great. The moment where it's like asses
Like
work.
it just has like
Like-
full haptic feedback.
it's a little weird. It's a little off-putting. But yeah, I mean, that's kind of all I really have to say about this game.
Ass.
You think
I bet
skill
that
tree
skill
sucks
tree
ass?
sucks. I bet it does.
Well, I mean, it very well could be.
Oh,
It very well
GameFly.
could
When
be.
does this shit come out? I couldn't
April
even be bothered to play
26th,
the
I think.
demo.
Yeah, clearly. I'm
I've
the
been
one
so
having to.
Ronin pilled. Like I've had this downloaded,
Ronin
and I'm like, but I don't want to
Jesus.
stop playing this. I can't.
Like look at this monster that's she's fighting the footage. Like it looks kind of cool, but it's kind of like it also somehow manages to also look very generic, but I don't know. That's how I feel about everything in this game. It looks overproduced. Everything in this game looks super overproduced. And maybe that's not a terrible thing, I guess, but like it just doesn't like I can't I need to play more of it. I need to I don't even know like I feel like I mean, I'm going to be honest. I feel that way about a lot of like anime. It's just like everything is designed. Everything has to look cool. Everything
trying to
has
lose
to
some
look.
points, Nick.
Yeah, trying to
Trying
lose
to
some
lose
points.
some points on your
Deduct
dock
some
points.
points from me, I guess. I don't know.
all anime
I'm-
looks like over designed shit. Is what you're saying?
Yeah, that's what I said.
All Japanese designs.
No.
If it-
Look.
If someone from Japan or Korea in this case put pen to paper, then it's shit.
Yes.
Or
correct.
pencil to.
That is exactly what I said. No, look,
Wow.
bitch. Listen, this demo put this game kind of on my radar, right? I had
You would side with Aloy or like
Ugly Aloy.
an ugly Aloy in the. There's
You
line
were-
in the sand, Nick.
I
You know,
hope
you're either on
everybody-
Aloy's side or whatever. Who's this character's name? What's her name?
Eve is her name.
You're on ugly Aloy's side or beautiful Eve's side. You got to pick a side.
I hope everybody listening at home recognizes that Brad's just being an asshole. This is not. I don't know. Anyways, I have my eye on this game, which I didn't really expect. I had pretty low expectations going into this. It's on my radar now. But like I said, I'm gonna kind of wait and see how reviews shake out on this thing because it could still go either way.
I
but,
don't trust it at all. This is the kind of game where like it wants to be like hardcore, like Sekiro, but like
It's
I
not
feel
gonna
like
be Sekiro.
people are just gonna get to a boss and they're just gonna be like, "What the fuck, dude? This is not even remotely balanced." I worry about those kinds of things, right? Like,
This is a game about doing cool looking shit as a sexy lady with big weapons.
Okay,
That's what this game is about, and that's
Yeah,
what
but
it seems to be pretty good at.
Yeah, but it's from the Nikkei. We had Bayonetta and Nier, which are like created by like master action
Right.
designers and master storytellers, and now we're just supposed to like lump this in with that. No, fuck
No,
that,
no,
dude.
no.
This has a lot to prove before it can like
sure.
sit at that
absolutely does.
table, and people are treating it like it's the same as that shit, and it's like,
I mean,
look,
again,
we'll
we're,
fucking
we're
see.
only talking
We'll
about a
fucking
demo
see.
here. We're only
Yeah.
talking about a demo here. I have no.
I want to be proven wrong, but in my opinion, like this is a Lies of P situation all over again.
But like Lies of P proved
I know,
good.
and I'm saying this game is gonna have to prove it, upon release.
This
I'm not gonna
game
give this
can't
shit the
just be a
benefit of the
pretty
doubt.
ass, okay? It has to have some depth. The combat.
That ass
So-
has some depth.
That ass
That
has
ass.
some depth. Yeah.
Go
Anyways,
grip it with both hands and squeeze. That's what you're saying.
no, Chris
Mm,
Davis, no. He crossed the line. Anyway,
All I'm
I
saying is
don't know what
that
kinda
the
game
best
that-
My
I don't even know
Fantasy
what kind of
Critics
game this is.
League can
Is this
allow
like a
is for this game to be a
linear-
65.
What is this shit? Is this
y'all
like a
were
linear
both
level
talking at the
based
same
thing?
time. No, I don't think it. Well,
What is this game? I don't
actually, it
know what
might be
is.
level based. It might be level, but it's not like a. It's not like
No
a.
one
shoot- it's
knows
not-
because people can't stop talking about the jiggle.
Right. I mean, the demo lets you play like the opening moments of the game, and then it like gives you a title card, and then it jumps to like what is the first level. So, I presume at key moments in the story, it's going to end a level on like a big moment, and then it's just going to load into a new level. Like that's kind of what I assume at this point.
It definitely like between like that intro sequence and when it switches from the title to the next level, like it feels like a gameplay tone shift that doesn't
That
excite
might just
me.
be for the sake of that might be the sake of the demo. Like that might not be exactly how it plays out with the final game, but we'll see. It is definitely a tonal shift. It's definitely going from like super big bombastic blockbuster looking shit to like
It's a little Soulsian
Uh,
thing. Yeah.
but it's not. It's definitely not Soulsian. There's
No.
nothing
Yeah.
Soulsian about this game. There's nothing Sekiro about. Well, maybe maybe it's too early to say it's not
There's
like taking
parries.
some inspiration from Sekiro. Like
Sekiro
combat.
invented the parry.
You're right. Well, first of all, no, sorry, you're not right. Like it didn't invent the parry, but
It
like it's
perfected the
definitely
parry.
it's definitely
Oh, yeah,
parrying is a
that's
huge part of the combat in this game. So there's definitely some inspiration there. But it's really it's. Look at this! Look at this shot when she comes out of the crashed.
I don't. I've seen it.
escape
I've seen it
pod.
on
It's
Twitter.
just-
Okay, from all the horrible
I haven't
bots.
seen it.
Nick, let's
It's wild.
move on.
It's wild. I mean,
Okay,
it's kind of
well,
wild.
so-
Okay, anyways, let's move on. Chris Davis, you had some
Hello.
words this week in Discord. You've been playing. I don't know
You
what
were
they were
about to say
exactly. You said some things. I popped into Discord at one point during the day just to kind of like see what was going on.
I
The first
made
thing
a
I saw
joke
was
that made
you
Brad angry.
you said some shit about Unicorn Overlord, and Brad
and
was
Fire
just,
Emblem. If you're gonna start talking shit about shit you don't understand, you better get your facts straight, motherfucker.
I wasn't talking shit. I was making a joke.
all right.
But already,
All-
Fire Emblem has this horrible
Look.
stigma of going like full waifu, and it's not even like accurate anymore. Like it was fucking one, maybe two games, and even that was overblown.
All I said was that and I said clearly as a joke that like Unicorn Overlord was a less horny version of Fire Emblem. That's all I said.
Yes. That is the statement that you made. Anyways,
Neither are
like,
horny.
Fire-
This game is
look,
super not horny, by the way.
Fire Emblem literally has a game about your mating characters to create children that come back to in time in the past to
It's
fight
not a game
alongside their
about
parents.
mating characters. That's not what it's about.
It's about fucking.
Anyways.
That was one game.
it's a game about fucking Brad. Get over it. Okay, sorry. Sorry, I didn't mean to throw you under the bus there, Chris Davis. But you have been playing a bunch of Unicorn Overlord.
I have. I've
So how's
put
that
about
going?
35 hours into it so far.
Oh wow,
Hot
that's
I've-
about how much I
dog.
put into it.
I've liberated 2 countries. I'm
Sounds
working on
like
the
he knows more
third
about it than
now.
you do.
Did you do
Brad.
Drakenhold first, or what?
Yes.
What? Okay.
I mean, based on the difficulty level they scale the game at, like you have to go to Drakenhold first.
I hate that
Um,
you call this game horny because this game is probably like outside of the actual like the art design of some of the lady characters, right? Which is classic. What's his face? Who does all the Vanillaware art, right? This game's not horny at all. Like not even a little bit. It's just a fucking war story.
some of the lady
like-
characters are actively thirsting after Elaine, and Elaine is just
One
completely ignorant, has no idea what they're talking about.
fucking one.
It's fun.
character is doing that really, and it's
Several.
like charming and
Several.
cute. It's not even several. Maybe you're further. I don't know. I spend
Yeah.
most of my time in menus.
I mean,
Let's
this
be
is a
real.
menu heavy game, which is
What difficulty
gotten
are you
the menu.
playing?
Brad
on,
sees
by
the
the way?
Matrix code with these kinds
What
of
difficulty
games.
are you playing?
I've been alternating kind of between normal and like the next step up. Like
Oh,
I
God. I think even
I-
expert is too easy. You need to crank that shit way up.
mean I don't play strategy
Don't-
and turn-based games
Don't
like
listen.
this.
Don't listen to this fucker, Chris
That
Davis.
high.
Brad sees the Matrix code when he plays.
How often are you
games like
fucking
this.
with your gambits and stuff?
Not as often as I probably think I should.
That's
But
the
I have
game,
been
Chris Davis.
doing-
That's the whole game.
I do like significant periods in which I just stop the game for like half an hour and start messing with gambits with all the characters.
The
Um,
itemization is so good.
yeah, no, it is kind of shocking how much I'm enjoying this gambit stuff. Like I expected to go into this game and just like kind of do my best to not interact with that at all. And to the game's credit, like it allows you to
Do you
do
have a
that.
history of that?
Like
Like,
no,
did
I
you,
really
like,
don't have it. No.
Did you play like Final Fantasy 12 and never touch the gambits or something, or did you?
I played a little bit of 12 and bounced off it. I did not enjoy that game.
Hmm.
So I know that's weird. It's who I am. But like again, to the game's credit, like it offers the flexibility to where you're getting skills and abilities at regular pacing when you're leveling up your characters, and it automatically filters that in at appropriate like activation levels to where I don't have to mess with that. but I can. So like with my clerics, like when I'm figuring out healing processes and what the order of operations, like, yeah, I'm going in and I'm editing it to where instead of, my character being below 100%, I'm doing it like 75 or even 50% to make it a worthwhile action. I don't need to
But are you
heal a
setting
character
up,
up
like-
all the
like-
way.
Are you setting up like the kind of like Rube Goldberg, like, because you can get pretty crazy with like this character has a item that makes they go first in battle, but they're the battle start effect on this item will trigger so that this character now has this can cast this spell on this other character who now goes next and does this. Like you could build like all the items and the AI, the gambits or whatever, to like set up just like a really
something
like,
Legos
nuke or
I don't
whatever,
know.
like and follow up attacks and to like, if you don't fuck with it all, like your characters are gonna like hit once and the battle's gonna be over. But if you set it up right, like you could just have it to where like fucking they're attacking like 12 times. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Like if you really drill down, like you can get pretty fancy. I love
Especially when you gain the ability to start promoting soldiers to higher classes.
it.
Like,
Yeah.
that's when you open up a lot more possibilities and it becomes a lot more fun, I think. Because like when you have them in their base class and they have just like one action point and one passive point that they can use in combat, that's just their base level. Like battles are over pretty quickly. They get their turn, they move on. But like once you promote them and you start adding on these items that give them extra points and things like that, and you can just customize the gambit order that you activate stuff in, like, dude, these battles can become drawn out and very interesting to watch. It's really rewarding and satisfying.
I think one of the strengths of this game is that like the like it just looks good, right? In battle, right? Like the
This
character
Justin vanilla
design,
game looks
like,
good.
the movie, yeah, this vanilla war game looks good. But like these characters, you outfit them with all these cool abilities and weapons, and they're getting weapons that have abilities. And like when they're just doing their shit in battle, like those animations and stuff, it just look fucking cool. It's just so you're getting like a visually fancy payoff to like all the kind of work you're putting into the systems and the nitty gritty. And I just I'm playing these games where like Ronin and Dragon's Dogma and stuff where like okay, these characters, like I guess I got a cool outfit, but like none of these motherfuckers look as badass as like some of these characters in Unicorn Overlord, which just it's a fucking cool looking game, man. I don't know.
Now, I am curious. I would like to.
When I was kind of describing like Ronin and what was good about like Rise of the Ronin in terms of like the open world and like that really addictive loop and everything is like quick and easy and you're knocking out quests and kind of going and going and going. Like he compared like what I was describing with Rise of the Ronin to like how it was in Unicorn Overlord, and that's true. Unicorn Overlord is a very like it's an open world game where you're like doing side quests and like you're just churning through quests and everything. It's like easy to get around, especially once you promote your main unit and you're just kind of knocking out quests. It's easy to get around the map and it's like very addictive, just kind of like, oh, I'm gonna deliver these supplies to this town and upgrade this town so I can station a guard. Now I can like take a boat out to this other island and I'm gonna like get to this town and bring supplies to this town and like check this shop and I'm gonna go back here and check this merchant. And, like it's just a very, very addictive loop, and they make it really easy to kind of just go. Like that loop is great.
Like on the point of stationing guards, I guess I don't quite see the benefit there.
So you stationing guards will make it to where you get more resources. You get like passive resources or resource points will respawn. So I can't actually remember what it does.
Yeah, it'll get you a little bit of cash and a little bit of resources, but it takes a full day-night cycle to activate that. And the day-night cycle is like half an hour long.
Yeah, like, but when you have like when you have like two whole countries of like stationed guards, that's a lot of resources. Like if you go back and like deliver that stuff, you're gonna get a lot of like points doing that.
Well, I understand it, but the thing about it is that each region's items that you could accrue are proprietary to that region. So like
Yeah, but
I
there's
can't
still
save them up to
delivery
use for
quests.
another region.
So like it helps grind out points you need to upgrade your units and army and stuff. Because you get honors and stuff for completing those delivery quests. And now you don't even have to run around to like get all this stuff. They'll just kind of get it for you.
Yeah, it's just
Yeah,
I
I guess
wish
that's-
that it was more substantial in the amount that you actually get.
Yeah, I mean, you don't. It doesn't cost anything to station a guard.
No, I mean it doesn't. And to that other thing is that with a guard, I wish there was more gameplay implications by stationing a guard there. Like, I wish it was a scenario where I have to worry about an enemy counterattack trying to come take the town, and
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't
things
know.
like that.
It's
But
cool.
that's not a thing in this. I did want to ask
I
you.
love just the team comp stuff in this game. Just
Yeah.
fucking with team comps, man. Like sometimes because I'll like test my team comps on like AI, like the little challenges you do where if you kill them you get like 2,000 gold or whatever. But
Yeah.
just against my own team, and like sometimes I'll put a team together and I'll throw them up against a couple of my like squads, and I'm like, man, this just shit ain't working out. But then I'll do it against a couple of other squads in my army, and I'm like, oh no, like this team just fucking obliterated like this other team. That's like I basically just found like a good counter to like this type of squad and this type of squad, and I just love kind of dicking around and tooling with all that stuff.
My
It's so good.
only big complaint with the game is that it's not exact because there are so many fucking classes in this game. Like
Yeah.
it feels like most of the main characters like have their own proprietary class for a lot of
Yeah.
them. I wish that the game was more informative of what classes are useful against what other classes. Like you have to go if you don't remember the tutorial for that character, you have to go into a glossary index to find out what they're good against. Otherwise, like you will deploy them to the battlefield and like you just kind of have to swap them out to figure out what is the appropriate counter to the enemy that you're about to fight.
What do you mean? All that stuff is like pretty. I mean, you just look at their skills. Like, well, what does this thief do? Well, he has true strike, so he can hit dodgy stuff or whatever, right? And he has evade, so he can evade tank. I mean, like it's not.
Well, what I'm saying is
I
that
guess they do get more complicated, but it's not everything.
I just wish that I didn't have
you
to
don't
go
need a
into
glossary
menu
to tell you what they're good at.
I wish I didn't have to go into a menu to find that out information. Is what I'm saying. I wish
mean,
that
this
I
sounds
could
like a
look at a
scenario.
character select screen and it tells me exactly what I need to know.
This sounds like a scenario just because I feel like a lot of this knowledge, especially for someone like Brad who plays a lot of these games, is just kind of like drilled into you. So like, I feel like I would be having the same kind of struggles as Chris Davis if I had tried to play this game because a lot of that stuff just isn't as obvious to me.
Really.
But
Yeah.
neither here nor there.
I mean, the one other minor complaint that I would say is that this game has too many characters. Like I've got like 60 at this point, and I'm just now entering the third country. Like it's nuts.
It almost seems like a game that should have had permadeath because of how many characters.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like a Fire Emblem, because in a Fire Emblem game you would get a lot of fucking characters, but it's designed with the idea that some of them might die.
Yeah.
Which kind of more modern Fire Emblem games kind of pull back on that, of course.
And
But
I do appreciate
it's
like
weird.
other than like the
I don't
recruits
care.
that you get.
There's so many good ladies. The thing is, to me, I don't run
So
with
it
any
is
of the
horny.
dudes really. I don't really run with the dudes. I mean, sometimes there's useful classes that are, I guess, dude exclusive. But for the most part, like my squads are mostly like badass ladies, which is fucking cool.
Yeah, I mean, I understand that. Have you got to the third country, Bastaria?
No, not yet.
You're gonna like Bastaria. They start throwing things at you that are
The elven
twists on the classes
and stuff, right? Yeah. No,
What a
I'm
twist!
I'm familiar. I will slow play this game. The time I spend playing this game will be twice as long as yours. I promise.
Well, I'm certain.
Because
It will just take him 4 times.
when I got to the point where I could promote units, that was like hard stop for me. This is going to be hours of me thinking about this shit
Yeah.
because that's just how my brain works.
Yeah, it's a transformative moment when you can start promoting your classes.
I haven't moved since I got to the point where I can promote. I haven't even moved. I got to a fort to where I can test out, do mock battles and stuff, and I have not moved since then.
That's where he lives now.
That's where
I
live
understand
now.
that.
It's like,
It's
Cool
really
beans.
good. I did
and I'm
want to ask
sorry
you.
the story is not like that good because it ain't no 13 Sentinels, but I'm glad you're enjoying the gameplay.
I don't know. I did not come into this expecting 13 Sentinels depth to the story. I just expected a good story, and so far, like, it's all right. I don't have really any complaints about it so far.
I guess. I mean, it's an evil empire that literally is brainwashing all the
it's not-
characters. And after every like little story moment, it's like, oh, you were brainwashed, but like join the rebellion. They're like, okay. And then it gives you
Yeah.
a choice. Do you want to kill them or let them join the rebellion? Well, like, why would I kill them? They were brainwashed by a clearly evil empire, and now they're like not brainwashed anymore.
Yeah, I'm
Yes,
not.
they're
I'm
gonna
not
join my army.
seeing.
I'm gonna get a cool new character.
They're
Yeah,
tracking
so
the
basic.
answers and putting people on a list if they can.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
like,
not. I'm
what-
not seeing
like-
like the benefits of the binary decisions that you have when it comes to recruiting
No,
characters.
Not even close. Not even close. Unless they all of a sudden have Dragon's Plague or something, I'm pretty sure there's no choice to actually make there. Yes,
Yeah.
join my team. You're the sister of a character already on my team, and you were brainwashed by an evil like magical force. Should you kill this person or let him join you? Like,
But
tough.
also, like, to be fair, like where I'm at in the story, like there's more depth now to like what that means. So
Oh,
So keep- so keep playing,
Well,
keep
I
playing.
I
It's
hope it does
really
some
good.
stuff there. I know there's one character that joined. Is clearly a bad dude who just decided to join my team, and like,
Mhm.
okay, but yeah,
Yeah.
cool. Glad you're enjoying it. Glad
And
you're enjoying a
Unicorn
Brad
Overlord.
game, Chris Davis.
Yeah, you did pay a lot of money for it. Anyways, moving right along.
I'm glad I paid for it.
Unless y'all have any objections, I think
No.
it's time to wrap up with the 4-player minute.
Cool.
Final thoughts for the week, Brad. You care to start us off?
Sure. I prepared something here.
Sure,
I
you
wanted
did.
to talk a little bit about Final Fantasy 16. Actually,
Oh,
believe it or
no.
not. Because I was listening to a podcast and I learned some things that I didn't know. So I know there's like the DLC coming out with Leviathan or whatever, and like I was like, well, I clearly don't give a shit because I don't like that game, and I stopped playing, so much of the way through, whatever. But I
Mhm.
heard some shit. That part of this update, they are going to do two things that one I've been begging for since launch. And the other one is just like, wow, that might be enough to get me back, actually, which is something
Okay.
I
Tell
pretty
me
sure I was never
more.
going to do. The first one is they finally are letting you completely rebind all the controls, which when it first launched, I'm like, this is horse shit. They need to fix this. And eventually they released a patch pretty quickly that added like 2 more control schemes, but it wasn't right. It was like you added, you kind of fixed it, but you fucked it up on these other control schemes. They're actually finally, after all this time, letting you just actually rebind the controls, which is huge because I kind of always resented the combat because I know it could have been so much better if this button was here and that button was there or whatever, and they just wouldn't let you do it. So that's huge for me. But it's been so long, I don't even remember exactly what it was about it. But I bet if I turned that game on, I would immediately
You would know very
be, like,
quickly.
frustrated. It was something to do with like the way you like cycled through or triggered your icon abilities. Like you couldn't have them one on a face button and one on a shoulder or something like that. But anyways, the other big thing is they're introducing a quick complete for quests where if after a quest, a little side quest or whatever, you can hit a button to be instantly teleported back to the quest giver to just turn it in. So
I
no
feel
more
like admitting that you did a bad job at designing your side
of course
quest.
they're admitting it. Of course they're admitting it because they did do a bad job.
Yeah,
and
I
they
totally agree.
But like that's fucking huge because it wasn't so much that you had to go back to like talk to these people to turn in these quests. It was that your home base was like this fucking, especially the one halfway through the game, was a fucking nightmare to navigate. It was fucking terrible. I never wanted to like go from, you remember this shit, Nick, like the one
I
out in the
do.
desert where it's like you have to go talk to this character who's now on like for whatever reason, really in terms of game space, probably like 30 feet away, but I have to like go 200 feet around like, bullshit to like get to them. Oh, I fucking hated it. So now that I can just like go from like completing a quest out in the world to just teleport back to the NPC, huge. That's got to cut back
Game
on
changer.
so much fucking game time. That's probably would cut 10 hours off that fucking game.
Yeah, I
of
wish
the
I had
worst
that.
part of that game. So
Would've
that
turned
might
my-
actually
my
be
80
enough.
That would have turned
Those
my
two things-
80-hour playthrough into a 60-hour playthrough, probably.
Those things
Fuck.
might be enough to get me to go back and finally finish that game up, because it was just not fun and tedious. It was tedious and not fun, and the game wasn't like, lighthearted and breezy enough like Rebirth, honestly, to make it worth it. I kind of wish they were already thinking about things they can do for Rebirth to make that stuff a little more streamlined, because one of the things I've been thinking about while playing Rise of the Ronin is just how much the game is just not getting in the way of itself. Just fucking go, do. And Rebirth is just like the opposite of that, right? It's dated, but it also has that like tedium of like, oh my God, why is this taking so fucking long? Oh man. Yeah. So
I agree.
Maybe in a year, Rebirth will be a much better game as well. But Rebirth.
I think Rebirth. I think the journey. I think Rebirth has much less to do in that
I gotta say
regard.
though, like Dragon's Dogma and like everything really is just kind of like fucking sucked all the air out of the room on that one. I feel as well. I mean, I know people playing, some people finished it, but like our Discord went fucking. That channel is ready to go to the graveyard, I think already. I think a lot of people are not even done with it.
I mean, now that I've finished Persona, that's kind of where I'm shipped. I mean, I'm gonna be going back and forth between Dragon's Dogma 2 and Rebirth. Since I've already sunk so much time into Rebirth, it's kinda, at some point
I could see Dragon's Dogma slip away from you, Nick.
No, it won't, dude. Listen, at some point you have to make a decision. Like, and I want to play both of these games, but like, if I keep going back and forth on them, neither one of them will ever be done.
Play
That's kinda
Days
at some
Ronin,
point,
Nick.
that's why I ended up making the decision. It's like, I want to be playing Dragon's Dogma 2. I want to be playing Rebirth, but I'm gonna stop so I can sink all my time into Persona 3 and take it across the finish line, and that's what I did. So I'm gonna probably end up doing kind of the same thing with Rebirth here pretty soon. Although I want to give myself a few days to like really delve back into Dragon's Dogma, because I do want to play more of that and get farther. But at some point,
you are gonna get around to Days Ronin, though, right?
yeah, I'm gonna wait for a sale. Like I said, like Alone in the
Hey,
Dark,
points.
I'm gonna wait
Remember,
for a
you
good
get 2
sale.
points for finishing Days Ronin.
2 points. Oh
2 points?
shit! Why didn't you say
You need
so?
points. I mean, I don't know where else you're gonna get those points from.
Dude, I'm not
'Cause
worried at all.
You got 4 for Persona, 1 for Rebirth, and what? How many? Dragon's Dogma
2?
is.
You tell me.
Dragon's Dogma is 2. So you're at
you made this point
7
system. What are
points,
you
right?
talking
You're at
about?
7 points.
Yeah.
You still need 3 more points.
I still
Where you
need 3
getting
more points, dude.
You ain't playing that Princess Peach game, so what the fuck?
No, I'm not worried about. I'm not gonna get it from Princess Peach. Don't
There's
you
only so
worry,
much
dude.
on this list.
Dude, if
Nick.
Decapolice
You're gonna
comes
have to
out
make
this
some
year, it's
choices.
over. If Decapolice
If what
comes out
comes
this year, Decapolice. If that game comes out this year,
What about Decapolice makes you think that game is for you?
dude, I love level 5. What are you talking
In
about?
Cops? You love level 5. Okay.
I love level 5 and fucking cops.
We'll see,
yeah.
Nick. I don't know. I don't think
You love
Decapolice
fucking
is-
cops?
I love fucking cops. I'm sorry. Oh my God.
What
Anyways.
else? Were you gonna play through Metaphor?
No, probably not.
No. Wow. You hate Persona 3.
Dude,
You're not even a Persona fan. This could be the last Shin Megami Tensei game you play.
Dude, I already said that as
Who
much.
f-
Like, I don't know if I have another
Imagine how much
Persona game in
happier
me.
Literally
love-
every other person on the planet who's finished a Persona game has a Persona tattoo of Chie or whoever the fuck their waifu is, and you're like, I don't even think I'm gonna play that fucking Metaphor game. That's
Dude,
crazy.
listen to me. I really am happy that I played Persona 3 and I finished it. I'm glad I can finally say I finished a Persona game, but I don't know if I have another Persona game in me
You
because
gonna
like
play
I gotta
Paper Mario?
Yeah, I might play Paper Mario. We'll see. I've never played the original, so like
Well,
it's
this ain't the
very
original.
possible.
This
Well, I know
is
it's the
the-
remake of an original. What are you talking about? Like, if I'm saying that might be my first time playing Thousand Year Door.
Huh. Okay. You get 2
All
points
right.
for that.
I know. Like I
2
said, Brett,
points,
I am
really?
not worried. Anyways, let's talk. Let's pass it over to Crispy. Crispy, what are your final thoughts for the week?
Oh no. Just a lot of Dragon's Dogma 2 stuff. which we covered. Still playing Overwatch. They
Overwatch, huh?
they previewed the new hero. It's this person named Venture who has a drill, can like dig underground. It's kind of fun, kind of cool.
Did that
You gonna get into that Marvel Rivals? when
yeah, I
that
was about to
comes out?
say, did that Marvel Rivals thing get your attention
Dude,
at all?
I don't know about that. That looks
Oh.
like a bridge too far. I don't know.
You've been watching X-Men '97? We haven't talked to Crispy in a
I
while.
don't have a.
This is turning into Ask Crispy.
Uh,
Oh,
No,
God.
I don't have a Disney Plus account at the moment, so I have not
dude,
been watching.
I started watching it. Cyclops immediately lame. Just perfect.
Don't take the bait. Don't hit the bait, Crispy. Just
Don't do it.
Immediately
push it
lame.
down. Just push it down.
Okay, I know
Look,
where
he-
I know where his ignorance comes from. It's okay.
Okay, no, that's fine. He can read a million comic books, but we all know that fucking animated series Cyclops sucks ass, and I'm just glad that he's back and continues to suck ass.
I don't know, man. That fucking a bit where he's like falling out of the plane and uses his optic blast to land. That was pretty cool. That was
All
pretty
right,
The
David,
cool.
only
which is
thing
boy-
Cyclops has ever been cool in is Marvel vs. Capcom, the versus series. Now that Cyclops is cool.
Which movie was it? Where like him and Logan are like, it's the one where he's like, prove it's you, and he's like, you're a dick, and he's like, okay. Do you know what movie I'm talking about? Which
It
X-Men movie
has
I'm
to
talking about?
be X-Men 1 or 2.
Was it? I don't know.
How
Whatever
much
movie
did,
that was pretty
How
cool.
much did what's his face set back Cyclops? James
Bryan
Marsden.
Singer?
No, James Marsden.
James Marsden wasn't the problem.
Yeah,
I thought
yeah,
James
true.
Marsden was a fine Cyclops.
James
Okay.
Marsden wasn't the problem. Those scripts and Bryan Singer. I mean, and whoever did. Bryan Singer, like, is the one who decided to fucking kill him off like 5 minutes into the third movie.
Have y'all seen that show that
So
James Marsden was in
stupid.
that I think he was nominated for an Emmy
Westworld.
for? No. Recently, where it's like a faux reality show where it's like there's only one person on the show who
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Oh
I watched
my
that whole
God.
thing. Jury Duty?
Yeah, that's
Yes.
a,
Yeah,
what's
yeah.
it,
It was
Jury
like,
Duty?
Dude.
yeah, it
That's
was
a
like the
good
Joe
show.
Schmo show.
Yeah.
My
Yeah.
favorite part, okay, my favorite part of that show
when
is
James
there's
Marsden
like a-
clogs the toilet.
No. There's like an older guy on the jury, and he like never talks to the main guy, to the guy who thinks it's all real, except for one time they're in a meeting and he's like he like gets up and he squeezes by the guy and he's like, hey, let me get by you here. He's like, yeah, I'm gonna go to the bathroom and jerk off. And then he dies, and everyone else in the jury is like sitting around sharing like all of these like memories of like all the nice things he said to them and like how cool he was, and they all have these like really sweet stories where they connected with him and they're like asking him like, oh, did he ever say anything to you? You have anything to say about him? Did he ever say anything to you? And they just keep cutting back to the clip of him being like, yeah, I'm gonna go fucking blast one off in the bathroom, and he never says it. He never tells him that he said that. God.
Oh my god.
Nick, you
Oh my
watched
God.
that show?
Robin watched it and I caught a lot of it. I watched
I was gonna say
I watched
thought
the
you
whole
were,
thing. It was
you'd
good.
be cringing too.
It was great. It was great. It
dude,
was so
but
good.
like that's the first thing I think of now when I think of James Marsden. Not X-Men.
That's
nothing else.
true.
he
That
was in. It's
definitely
that.
like raised his
I
stock
mean, the
level
whole
in the
whole
celeb
thing
stock
with
market.
him being an alternate and like being kind of, it feels like he's like losing the spotlight. Like, is so fucking funny.
Dude, it was so good. I love that. I really love that show. I know that's not usually the thing that I bring
Oh.
up or I watch, but man, that was really
Sonic the Hedgehog's dad.
good. Sorry.
Nah, we don't talk about Sonic movies.
We don't talk about that.
Don't believe that.
What about the
Sonic.
like
I just made that connection. with my
9
damn
part
eyes.
Those are
Knuckles
shit movies.
the Knuckles TV show?
Oh man, this has
No.
gone off the rails. Last
Shit
question for you,
movies.
Crispy.
Don't believe their lies.
Last
What
question
movies
for you,
have I
Crispy.
seen recently?
No, what did you
I
think?
watched
of
Late Night with the Devil. I watched.
Oh, is
I wanna
that
see
is that
that.
out? Oh, it's in.
Yeah,
theater.
I watched
It's
Late
in
Night with the
theaters.
Devil. I watched
I watched
Dream
Immaculate.
Scenario.
Oh,
I
that's
watched
good. Yeah, I like that
Wonka.
a lot. Oh, I
Ah.
didn't watch that. Come on.
I watched.
Boo.
Dude, Wonka is way better than it should be. Like, Wonka's not bad.
Dream Scenario was
Dream
wild.
Scenario is a weird fucking movie.
Oh, that's that
it's
Nicolas Cage
weird
one,
and-
right?
Yeah, and it's so
Okay.
like, yeah.
It takes a dark turn, man.
I
Why
mean,
that?
the whole thing's pretty dark. Like, yeah, I don't know. The scene with the girl from The Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt, like when he goes to her apartment, is so just like awful.
I love
like I
it.
hate
I
it. Yeah, that's everything I've seen recently.
Okay.
Late Night with the Devil was okay. I feel like I don't know. I feel like they gave up the game in a couple of the trailers a little too much. Like for a movie that
I wish I
doesn't
never watched
really
the trailer.
have any twists or surprise, like to show them off in the trailers.
I
wish
actually
I
started
didn't watch the
watching the
trailer.
trailer about halfway through it because I was starting to get that vibe.
I
Yeah.
want more. Just turn off trailers.
What? Oh, you know, Late Night with the Devil also does that weird thing I couldn't stop thinking about, but it does that Office, like the Office thing, where it is ostensibly supposed to be a documentary, but it immediately like ignores that framing by like having camera people everywhere and having them like getting fly on the wall shots of like conversations that like they just definitely wouldn't be getting, you
You
know?
just gotta forget the
Like,
frame.
I know. I think David, what's his name?
That's
David,
been the problem of found footage films for like a long time, really.
Yeah. I mean that's a classic. It's a classic pitfall. I don't know. It was good. It wasn't great. It was good.
That's interesting. I've heard really good things about it. I'm gonna go see that here soon.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure a bunch of horror perverts are into it, but like,
Yeah, for sure.
whatever.
That's me.
Like,
Boom, horror pervert. All right, passing it over to Chris Davis. Mid-drink.
Noted
What's
not horror pervert.
not
Um,
Alone
That's
in the
not
Dark
true.
fan.
That's not true,
horror
Mr.
pervert.
Alone in the Dark, for some weird reason.
I'm glad that David guy, David Thatch, I don't know what his last name is, but I'm glad that he's like becoming a star because he's
Mhm.
Is?
kind of like a weird guy. Like he
Who?
just looks weird and
Star of Late
his
Night with the
weird
Devil.
characters.
Oh, the star. Yeah, he is kind of sort of an odd-looking fella.
He looks like someone who'd be famous in the '60s.
Yeah, which makes him perfect for Late Night with the Devil.
Yeah. Sorry.
All right, Chris
Uh,
Davis. Sorry.
No, you're good. It's fine. I guess just my 4-player minute, I'm splitting in half. The first is that I'm proselytizing the word of Godzilla X Kong. That movie is very fun. I'm going to see it tomorrow night with my dad for his birthday. And then
This
I
is
might go
his
see it again
birthday,
one
right?
more time because it's going to be at the IMAX. And how often do you get that opportunity? So, fun movie. It's a really fun movie. Worth going to see.
It's no -1, but it's fun.
Hey, it's outdoing Dune Part 2. So,
Oh, yikes.
Like,
Yeah.
are we talking like since?
Outdoing this last weekend.
Yeah, I was about to say there's a difference. It's not. I don't think it's gonna like top. I think the overall box office numbers are not going to land in
Oh.
Godzilla's favor on that one. But
the international box office is really strong, actually. I'm just saying, like, this movie is doing really well. Whatever, fine.
we'll
fuck
see.
off.
We'll
but
see about that. Anyways,
fun movie.
Oh no!
So who
Wow.
wins in the fight? Can you
Yeah.
spoil it?
Succeeding despite that tomato score, huh? Wow.
Yeah, I mean, how many? That happens all the fucking time. The other thing I
Don't worry,
want to
Chris
mention
Davis,
is
I love
that
plenty of flats.
my gaming time, when it's not been Unicorn Overlord, has been devoted to Helldivers 2. They launched a new patch today, which a lot of good things, a lot of nerfing stuff that I don't appreciate. Here's the thing about Arrowhead, this developer, is that
I feel
they
bad
release
about this
quality
stuff.
patches, but they release new content without telling people about it. And
that's
so
wonderful.
like and they play it into like the overarching narrative of the universe. Like any rumors that are coming out are like heretical to democracy. You know, they're the words of traitors when they talk about this stuff. So like several weeks ago they revealed like the flying bugs, which
They denied their existence.
They denied their existence like fully in universe. It was hilarious. I hated those. And then today they launched this new patch, and people discovered there's 2 new robot enemies to fight. One of which is a fucking AT-AT. And it's gigantic, and I hate it, and I can't wait to fight it. But this game is so fucking good.
It is pretty good. It's pretty good. I definitely want to find time to squeeze more of that. And even though I know in the grand scheme of things I won't end up playing a ton of it, I would love to play a little bit more of it because that was a grand old time.
Yeah.
And
like
the other week.
And their audience is like in love with the PR and marketing that they have going on with this game. Like the studio head Joel, I don't even know his fucking last name. Everyone just calls him Joel. Like he will pop into games and he will say, I've got to get back to work. And he'll just like release a stratagem for unreleased content, like a fucking APC, something that's not in the game. He'll just drop it in for the players to play with and just leave. Just like having fun with the community like that.
Sounds like he's having fun with, he's growing drunk on power is what he's that's what he's doing.
I'll tell you what, Joel, like, come on, man. Come on. Nerf the fucking robots. They're insanely tough on higher difficulty levels.
I'm gonna be honest. Helldivers 2 is getting a little clicky for me.
Little clicky?
Yeah, it's getting a little culty.
Little.
I can see that. I can see that becoming a thing too. That's for sure.
Yeah, the meme's pretty good. Also, one last thing I wanted to bring up. Brad, you might be interested in this. I don't know if you saw the news today, but evidently the developers for Dead Cells are rumored to be working on a Prince of Persia game.
Oh, fuck
What?
you, dude. I don't give... What? Okay. I thought you were going to say Castlevania. But no, you hit me with Prince of Persia, which might have been okay, except we just got a really good Prince of Persia.
Yeah.
So why would they give Prince of Persia away again after like they just made one of the
That's
best Prince of
last
Persia
thing
games?
I need right now. Let them do a Castlevania game. Let somebody do a
For the
fucking
love of
Castlevania
God,
game.
somebody save Castlevania.
Prince of Persia. Like I'm good. I'm good on Prince of Persia right now.
Okay.
I hate to say it.
All right,
Fuck.
whatever.
Just
All
thought
right,
that
my
might make you
4-player
happy.
minute starts now. My final thoughts. My final thought starts now. We're talking about movies. There's a lot of stuff I want to see, including Late Night with the Devil, but I did go see Immaculate on Good Friday, unintentionally.
Oh.
Ooh,
I have no idea what
that
that
was
is.
fun.
Don't know what it is.
Huh?
I don't know what that is.
The new
It's
horror
like
movie.
Rosemary's Baby.
The new movie
Oh.
with Sydney Sweeney. Horror
I don't know
movie.
who that is.
Okay. Wow, I don't know what to tell you, Brad. Look up Sydney
No.
Sweeney.
I'll look it up.
Look up Immaculate. The movie was.
A nun gets pregnant without having sex.
Whoa.
There we
I
go.
get it. Conception. I get it.
And
Very, very,
Um,
very. That movie, and I think Sydney Sweeney she did a lot to like sell herself as like a great like final girl for this like generation of horror films. It was some like the last scene in particular of that movie. I was like, God damn, this is wild.
you're gonna go see Late Night with the Devil.
We're going to see Monkey Man on Friday.
Uh-huh.
And then we have family in town next week, and they're gonna have kids with them, and one of their birthdays. So we're gonna go to see
wanna go see
Ghostbusters
Monkey
again.
Who is
And
Sydney?
then the
What
week
would I have
after
seen
that-
Sydney Sweeney in? I watched
Uh,
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. She was in that.
She was in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
I mean, I'm just looking at the list of shit she's in because
Um,
I haven't seen any of this.
Well, I
stuff.
was gonna say if you like Late Night with the Devil,
Mm-hmm.
you should look up Ghost Watch, which was this like live television event that broadcast on the BBC in the 90s.
Oh, I heard
Ooh.
about this.
That is like
Ooh.
it is essentially Late Night with the Devil. Like
Okay.
it is it,
I'd
it
be
is
down to check that
but
out.
they broadcast it on like national television as like a real thing and like traumatized a bunch of British kids for life. Like,
Yeah.
it's so good.
That sounds sick. Also, Brad, Sydney Sweeney is in Madam Web.
I don't even know what that is.
What the fuck are you?
Okay.
Sydney Sweeney
Okay.
is Madam Web, you know, Sony's Spider-Man's Madam Web.
Anyways, I do highly. All I'm saying is I highly recommend Immaculate. It was pretty good. And on the gaming side of things, I finished, like I said, I finished Persona 3, and I finished it kind of like midday, and it was like that game drained a lot just for my will to play games that day. And I was like, what could I do? It's just like I don't want to dive into something really deep like Dragon's Dogma or Final Fantasy VII Rebirth right now. I just want something kind of light and easy.
Dragon's
And
Dogma is awesome.
I just randomly started replaying BioShock
Oh,
for no reason.
Because you watched you watched the trailer for what's it called?
Judas?
There's no trailer.
It was all like,
No.
Kid Levine.
Hey, we talked about Judas last week, but that's not really why. I mean, I picked up the BioShock collection like a couple months ago and been meaning to replay it. I specifically am really interested in replaying BioShock 2. But I wanted to replay all three of them, and I don't know. I'm just like I'm playing through it now. I'm playing through it now, and I'm just like, first of all, I now live in a post like, for me, System Shock remake which was on my top 10 last year, and like obviously now I kind of see the stark differences between System Shock and BioShock, but I can see the DNA there, right? And I prefer System Shock, but BioShock as a shooter and just kind of as a as a vibe, it's just so fucking cool, man. And it just made me think. It just made me think that BioShock 4 has been rumored for so long, and it's like it's all but confirmed. It's all but confirmed. We even think we know what studio's working on it. It's crazy.
Well, we've known what studio's working on it for years, but
I know, but like. I know that's my point. I'm just kind of like
you played BioShock as sort of like to get the Japanese game funk off of you, huh?
Yeah. I really had to get the stink off.
Gotta get back into that Western vibe.
Man, you need some Western games.
Yeah.
Well, real quick, Nick, regarding BioShock specifically, maybe hold off for a while because one of the games from the NVIDIA leak was a RTX remaster of BioShock.
Well, I mean, it's too late now. I'm like 3 hours
Nick doesn't know what that means. So.
I am 3 hours into the original BioShock. Believe me, if they release some kind of like dramatic like revision or remake of BioShock 1, of course I'll play it. I don't think that's gonna change. This remaster is just a nice cleaned up version of the original, so it's great. It's been great going back to it. It just got me kind of thinking and wishing that BioShock didn't just kind of like quietly disappear after BioShock Infinite. So I'm hoping maybe this is the year.
They laid off the entire studio.
That's okay. Okay, you're right. Sorry.
Yeah.
Quiet was not the right word, but I just hope that BioShock as a series comes back sooner rather than later because it's a cool vibe. It's a really cool vibe. So we'll see. But anyways, that's it. That's all I've got. That's our show. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you to everyone watching us live on twitch.tv/4Player Podcast and youtube.com/4Player Network. I don't remember what it is. Just go to our website. Links there.
It's on the screen.
It's true. Oh, yeah, you're right. It is on the screen. Wait, no, it's not.
No, it's not.
Discord.gg/4Player is the place to be if you want to be a part of our community. Hang out, talk about games, talk about movies, talk about whatever the fuck. We even have a great channel where people can just share pictures of their pets, and it's super active. So if you need to look at some fur babies, go in there. It's great. It's a great place.
It's
great for your mental health.
It's just a shame that Nick doesn't post more in there.
When I post pictures in that channel, they're fucking bangers. Okay.
They are, but you post it one every 6 months.
Yeah, but they're bangers when they do. So anyways, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Again, next week, not sure what the plan is yet, but it might end up being a game night or a trailer talk night or something. We'll keep you posted in Discord. But if that goes according to plan or lack of plan or whatever you want to call it, then our next episode will probably be in 2 weeks. But again, we'll keep you posted. So in the meantime, guys, be good to each other. Play video games. Good night.
Bye.
Okay, Chris. Here we go. You ready?
What? What's happening?
Okay.
Chris
Fire away.
Davis, you ready?
What are we doing? I'm afraid.
What is okay, do you know what the domestic opening weekend for Godzilla Kong New Empire was?
It was like 50 or 60 million, right?
More.
I don't know. You tell us.
It was more. You were so sure that it's doing better than Dune.
That's a story I read.
Okay. Well, when it comes to domestic opening, they were about neck and neck. Godzilla Kong had $80 million. Dune
Okay.
2 was $82.5 million. But
Okay.
when you look at worldwide gross, Kong is at 202.8 million.
That's the new
Part,
one.
Yeah. Dune Part 2 is at 628.8 million.
Okay,
So,
but
I don't know where
Kong
you're
has
getting
also
your
only been
box
out for
office info.
Kong's been out for 1 weekend. Dune's been out for a month. So
That's true, but you said it was doing better than Dune, and it's definitely not.
I
doing-
guarantee you.
I should have
Godzilla-
clarified at the pacing. It's doing better.
Here's the
It's
thing. There is
on
zero.
track.
There is no chance that the Godzilla film is not going to.
Oh, a fucking course not. No way.
It's going
I'm
to.
just
It's
saying,
going to
it's-
trickle off much faster than Dune is going to trickle off.
Well, I really hope that's not the case, because it's a fun movie.
I'm not saying it's not a fun movie. It could be a
There's
fun movie.
monster suplexing, Nick. It's awesome.
But, yeah.
Nick is known
Suplexing.
for his love of monster suplexing.
Yeah, that's never really been my thing.
Yeah, but that's what kaiju movies are. It's kaiju
I
versus
watched-
movies are. It's supposed to be about like
This is the
monsters
second-
wrestling.
Isn't this the
Also-
second Godzilla versus Kong movie
looks
in this
like-
cinema?
Yes.
I mean, it looks
created
like
here.
Dune is also opening in way more countries than Godzilla is.
Okay.
Dune is opening like in every European country, and Godzilla only opened in the United Kingdom, Spain, Italy, Croatia, Iceland, and Lithuania.
Of Europe
Not sure why.
specifically.
Europe, Middle East, and Africa.
Well, I know it's doing really well in China.
It did 44 million in China. That's opening weekend gross because their opening was just March 29th.
That ain't bad.
And that's a lot better opening week than Dune had in China, which Dune had 19.6 million, but has since
Damn.
accumulated up to 46.5.
Dune not very popular in China?
46.5 million.
Are you telling me it ain't
It's not
doing
not
real
popular,
good?
but oh yeah, I'm sorry. Is it not doing as good as your movie that released over $40 million in China?
It ain't doing
true.
real good.
Ain't Dune so
Oh
good?
no.
Ain't Dune so good? Yeah, it's doing great actually. But
Hey dude, how excited are you? This is totally off
Godzilla's
topic.
gonna do better.
This is totally off topic. How excited are you that Andor season 2 is finished filming and it will be coming out before the end of the year?
I mean, yeah, yeah, great. I'm not thinking about Andor until it comes out. I can't handle it. My heart can't handle
I
it.
ordered the Blu-ray because
I want to too.
I want to see
I
the
hadn't
show,
thought
so
about
yeah, I
buying a
ordered it too.
Blu-ray in a long time, but I think I might.
Hey Nick,
That one. It's so
Hmm?
good.
I'm gonna need you to do me a favor.
oh god.
There was some stream stuttering several times tonight. I'm gonna need you to pull the audio and send it to me once you complete it.
Pull the audio?
Yeah, like I've asked for a couple times in the past.
Oh, just send you my audio, like my mix. Is what you're saying.
The completed mix, yeah, without the intro and outro music.
So the first segment and the second segment?
Yeah, there's just
And
some times in
he's
which
gone.
he's stuttering, and
Gotcha.
Brad.
I can do that. I can do that. In fact,
you.
I will do that. Maybe remind me again tomorrow because I'm not going to be editing until tomorrow. But
okay,
yeah.
I will try.
Okay, I'm leaving.
Me too. I've got to go to
Okay.
bed.
Good night, everybody.
I'll have a good one.
Goodbye.
Bye, buddy.
Bye.
All right. And with that, goodbye, chat.